Tell him I need my money right now. Brought me the juice, they stole out my crown. Sorry to tell you, I know my value. I'm gonna recoup, yeah. But don't waste my energy, my energy. I don't got much, don't be wasting all my energy. I keep it tight, don't let nobody get close to me. My heart is right, don't question my integrity, no. I thought we would be just fine, and I thought your heart was like mine. But let me find out, you've been going around throwing shots, running plots. Come on, man, tryna block my blessings, but no need for comparisons. What's from me won't be from me, yeah. I'ma go through just to grow through. But pay me what you owe me for I make what you've been saying about me true, true. Tell him I need my money right now. Brought me the juice, they stole out my crown, yeah. Sorry to tell you, I know my value. I'm gonna recoup, yeah. Don't waste my loyalty, my loyalty. I let you in back then because I couldn't see, but now it's clear you ain't ever been true to me. My intuition ain't ever lied, I had to leave. Handle your business, do what you think you need to do to get your revenge. But you won't break me, God as my witness. Past the point of no return, I'm on a mission. Tryna block my blessings, but no need for comparisons. What's from me won't be from me, yeah. I'ma go through just to grow through. But pay me what you owe me for I make what you've been saying about me true, true. Tell him I need my money right now. Brought me the juice, they stole out my crown, yeah. Sorry to tell you, I know my value. I'm gonna recoup, yeah. Don't waste my.
She's putting all of her cards down on the table, knowing there's no way that you'll be able to win this one. But she's somebody else in the making. First, she just gotta stop all the faking, and she'll be there. But she's wondering if it's gonna feel like she's forever. Wondering if it's gonna feel like this whenever she leaves her safe space. She leaves her safe space. Wondering if it is forever, or is there some place that will make her feel better? Make her feel better. Then that's where she'll go. That's where she'll go. Somebody say, don't be afraid of loving yourself, 'cause that is all you got in the end. You got in the end. But she's wondering if it's gonna feel like she's forever. Wondering if it's gonna feel like this whenever she leaves her safe space. She leaves her safe space. Wondering if it is forever, or is there some place that will make her feel better? Make her feel better. Then that's where she'll go. That's where she'll go. Talking to myself 'cause I don't know what I want. Yeah, I'm here talking to myself like someone's gonna respond. I'm getting tired of myself cause I don't know what I want. But I'm not out here on my own. Wondering if it is forever, or is there some place that'll make her feel better? Make her feel better. And that's where she'll go. Talking to myself like someone's gonna respond. I'm getting tired of myself cause I don't know what I want. But I'm not out here on my own.
Y'all, I want a house in the hills I pay big bills for. I ain't got in pocket. I wanna empty out my wallet. I wanna stop motion, stand still. Wallace and Gromit. I wanna talk more endlessly. I wanna neurotically vomit. I want more dollars from my mama. I want a palace and Prada. I want a Gucci bag where I can store my sorrows and hardships. I wanna gold plate my partners. I want endless tomorrows. I want a lot more than I got right now. But that's the problem. You could give me every little thing I'd ever want, but I'd never have enough till the day I had it all. Yeah, you can give me every little thing I ever want, but I'd never have enough till the day I had it all.
Oh, I see what you want, baby, but it might be just a little more than I can give you.
Second thought, I want $1 for everyone, not just for my mama. I wanna hit the ball out on random pedestrians. I want my questions to be answered till my brain bored and questionless. I want more self-assurance. I don't ever want to second guess. I want somebody to shut the fuck up. Less he trying to tell me yes again. I want so many best friends that I can't tell what friendship is. I want the diamonds, gold, and glitter. I want fast cars I'll never whip. I want it all till I'm empty in my castle of everything.
Oh, I see what you want, baby, but it might be just a little more than I can give you.
I want a cushy job that pay big bills and cheap thrills. Wanna mob out with my homies like Timmy, Tommy, and Dill. I'm not trying to be famous, okay, maybe a lil. Since I'm a rapper, I should buy me some grills and gold frills that I can sleep on while I contemplate pills and peep on, hold still. Might sedate you, just a fire at will. I got an appetite for hardship, big fish meets krill. Don't sleep, don't spill, I ain't got my fill. I want the beauty queen to make me show my pearly whites. The type of movie scene that make you count your blessings twice. It's not the only thing that's on my list, I checked it twice and sent it off to Santa's elves like I've been playing nice.
I see what you want. Oh, I see what you want. Oh, I see what you want. But it might be a little more than I can give you.
Uh-oh, we on the countdown, y'all.
I've been working overtime like crazy.
Married people, divorced people, pull up.
Show you how I really feel.
Salute. Everybody type salute. Type it again. If you type salute before, you better type it again. Type it again.
Just to show you that my love is real.
Black marriage in America. Who wants to get married? Are you getting married for the right reason? Are you getting married for the wrong reasons? Are you getting married for the reasons you were told to get married? Do you understand marriage? I'm looking at the statistics right now, aggregated from the U.S. Census Bureau of 2019. What's up, Lakeisha? Hey, Mika G. What up, Steven? JT. JT's here, y'all. Hey, Muna. Just Being Lazy. Wait, Just Being Jazzy's podcast. Okay. What's up, Just Being Jazzy's podcast? Can I call you Jazzy? Can I call you Jazzy? I like that name. My man Robert. Robert. You know, I got it. You got to pull up. Pull up. I'm excited. Not really, but I had to do something for you guys tonight. Get it going.
I just wanna take another look at you so our eyes can finally meet. I just wanna take another
Ladies and gentlemen, greatest show on earth. It's getting ready to get started.
I just wanna take another look at you. Will you let me?
Welcome to another episode of High Value Shan, where not only is Shan a high value man, so is the content. How you guys doing this Thursday night? Blessings, Lakeisha. Blessings to you, love. JT, look, JT come in. JT come in giving super chats. He just walk in. JT walks in with the $2 super chat. Pre-game drinks before the party. That's what's up, JT. Continuous blessings from JT. He's always blessing the channel. He's always putting something in the pot, man. I appreciate you, JT. How come my system didn't sound off? The system should have sounded off. I really want the people that... There it is. I designed my system automatically. Anybody gives anything, their name needs to be burned into the video. I want their name burned into the video. You guys are going to come here and you're going to bless me and nobody's going to know about it? Oh, no, we don't play that game over here. Shout out to you, JT. I appreciate you, bro. Hey, Candid Ann, you at work? Candid Ann, what are you doing at work at this time of night? Get your butt at home. What are you doing at work? What's love got to do with it? That's the topic of the night. You know, tonight we were doing Ask a Black Man Anything. You know, I have some really amazing fellas that I've been working with all year long. Come January, I will have been working with them for a year. But tonight, there's a lot of us that were flying. Some of us were on flights. A couple of us was working late and had some deadlines they had to take care of. It rained here in California. It rained here in Los Angeles. And it knocked out the internet in a lot of different areas. So one of our brothers didn't have no internet. It was just a big mess, you guys. And we wanted to bring you a quality show. We know how important it is to make sure there's a quality show. And a lot of people, and we know a lot of people are looking for specific people that's on our Ask a Black Man Anything panel. It's 9 of us. It's 9 of us. Oh, no, I think it's 8 of us now. One of us just went back. He has other commitments. So it's 8 of us on that. And we want to make it so all 8 of us are there to be able to answer the questions. It's really important that we do that. And so instead of giving you guys a half-baked show, we decided not to do it. And so as a last-ditch effort, I went ahead and I knew this topic is something that I wanted to talk about. I knew this topic is something. What's marriage got to do with it? A lot of people, it's a trip because my first, hold on a second. Oh, my man is my first divorce. You know, mind you, I'm twice married, twice divorced. I think I could talk on this topic for a little bit. My first divorce, was in December 2007. I got my first divorce in December 2007. I'm gonna tell you guys a story about that. So I'm coming up on, what is this? 2007 is 2011, 15-year anniversary of my divorce. December 28th, my sister's birthday. My sister was born December 28th. And I got divorced December 28th, 2007. So I'm coming up on my 15-year anniversary. No, do I have the math right? I don't think I'm doing the math right. Whatever, you guys got it. 2007, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Coming up on my 14th year, yeah. I was thinking, yeah. Coming up on my 14th year anniversary. 14th anniversary of my first divorce. That sounds so bad. But divorce is terrible. Listen, divorce is bad. Divorce is bad. It's not cool. I don't wish that on anybody. And I'm an advocate for marriage. I am an advocate for marriage. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, tonight we're going to talk a little bit about who should get married, and we should talk about the ages. Let me jot that in my notes. What ages are best to get married? Ages are best to get married. I got two of my closest friends, Robert and Chris. They're going to pull up. We're going to have a conversation, and you guys are welcome to pull up as well. Because we're going to talk about, is marriage a business? I wrote in the description, I said, husbands, love your wives. Wives, love your husbands. I mean, love them, right? But make sure you both take care of that business first. Make sure you take care of that business first. We're going to discuss it. I'm going to ask my friends some questions. You guys mind if I pull up my boys? They're in the back. They're in the green room. I want to pull them up. Normally, I don't have any guests this soon, but my guys is here, and these fellas have some experience. So we're going to talk to you. We're going to give you, ladies and gentlemen, you're about to get you're about to get an earful of some gentlemen who have been married. Tonight is the topic is, what's love got to do with it? Does love have everything to do with it? Does love have little to do with it? What matters most? What makes a long-lasting marriage? Is it worth it in 2022? We're going to have that discussion. We're going to have that discussion in just a second. Hold on. Let me pull my guys up. Hey, Ro Renee. Is it buffering badly? Okay. Uh-oh. Lakeisha, hey everybody in the chat, let me know. Are you guys getting a solid stream? Are you getting a clear signal? It's important that I know that you guys are getting a clear signal. My son is in the other room playing Xbox, and I think he's streaming online. It's time for him to go to bed anyway. So I'm gonna pull my guys up, and I'm gonna go kill that Xbox and put him to bed. It's 8 o'clock. He goes to bed at 8 o'clock. So he can get up early. He thinks he can get up. He can't. He never can. McDonnie Mac, what up? Lucky. Hi, Lucky. How are you? It's always nice to see you, Lucky. Lucky, Lakeisha, Donnie, Ro. Black Pearl is in the house. Let me know, you guys, in the chat real quick. Is the stream crystal clear? It's crystal clear on my screen. I'm looking at high definition. 4K look like everything is perfect over here, but I don't know if it's clear for you. Before we go forward, I want to make sure that it's clear for you guys. Just let me know. I know there's about a 15-second delay, so I asked this question. By the time you're hearing it, I asked it 15 seconds ago. For the people in the chat, I just want to know, is it clear? Is the video clear? I know Ro was saying she was having a buffering issue, and we're simulcasting this on, I think, 7 different platforms, and that could be part of it. Just throw it in the chat, you guys. Anybody, let me know if it's clear. Damn, are we buffering that much? How far back are we going? We had about 30 seconds. I mean, I don't mind the buffer, because we really don't pay attention to the chat much anyways. We kind of like get into the conversation. Let me run over here. Y'all taking too long. Let me run over here to YouTube. Oh, they all flying in now. Mika says it's buffering. Oh man. Hold on one second, you guys. Let me go take a look. Black Pearl says it's good now. Okay, so it seems clear on my computer. I'm gonna go kill that Xbox. It's time for him to go to bed. I'm gonna pull my guys up. Chris and Robert. They're gonna chat with you guys for just a quick second, and I'll be right back. Hold on, let me pull them up. Hey, my man. What up, Rob?
What's going on, sir? What's going on?
What's happening?
Customary salute here.
Customary. What's up, Chris?
Nothing much, man. Nothing much. Yes, sir.
What it do? What it do? Can you hear me? Check 1 2.
Mic check 1 2, loud and clear. Hold on one second. Let me get your name up in here.
I can hear you. Let me check my. There we go.
Lakeisha says it's clear. Rose says it's clear. Red Lipstick Vibes is here, y'all. We good now, you guys? Okay, long as we good.
What?
I think ACT every day, except middle girl.
Long as we good.
That's not really.
Robert, Chris, you guys chat with everybody. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go put my son to bed.
Say less. Let's see. Mika G. Red Lipstick Vibes is in the building. Let me fast forward this little stream real quick. What's up, Robert, man?
Nothing much, Chris, man.
Robert,
how you doing out there in Atlanta? We actually got rain out here in Cali, man. It's unusual. We don't know what to do.
Yeah, I need to check on all my Cali people. So I just thought about that. You see the shirt, though. Loyal since 1867. More hosts. You see it? You see it? Let me see if it's... oh, yeah, I see it. But there we go. Yeah, I do see the buffer, but it's all good. I see the buffer. Yeah, man. So, Chris Davis, Atlanta, Georgia, is where I stay. I'm from Buffalo, New York. I've been here for about 24, next year, make 25 years. Once married, once divorced, single father. My kids, I have custody of my kids. About to send 2 kids off to college next year. Super excited about that. And just here to add some context and some help if possible. Man, I'm here. I'm here, man.
Mr. Awesome. I'm back, you guys. My son was mad. Mr. Awesome, shout out to you, bro. Everybody, throw your ones up for Mr. Awesome.
Being number one isn't easy.
Soldiers, throw your ones up for Mr. Awesome. He hit us with a $20 super chat. Thank you, Mr. Awesome. What does Mr. Awesome say? He says, that hoodie. I need that hoodie. I never made a connection with rapping and bars raw. Men treat marriage like a degree. Only do it if you have an actionable plan, purpose. What else did he say? And then he says, I'm live, hopping right now between Lapeef got doing a classic tonight. Okay, yeah, Lapeef is live. There's a lot of people live tonight. We planned on doing, so these 2 brothers that's on the screen with me right now is part of we have a whole nother channel, you guys, and I want you guys to become a part of that. Please join and subscribe to our channel. It's called Ask a Black Man Anything. Literally, that's the name. It's called Ask a Black Man Anything. And it's a brand that we all own, and that we all get together every week to discuss whatever anybody wants to ask a black man. It's literally in the title. And we normally would have been live with that show tonight, but a lot of us was having some trouble. Some of us was traveling. Some of us had some deadlines at work. Other ones had outages with their internet. And we wanted to give you guys a quality show. My man Chris is available. Robert was available, so they jumped on. So we're just doing another show. And with one single topic. No questions tonight. We're going to postpone those questions till next Thursday. And so as a
I
result,
just want you to see Morehouse Man don't cheat.
yeah, right.
Just so you know, we've been loyal since 1867. You feel it.
That's
So
what's
you
up.
want this hoodie, you can. You said what?
I said, that's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's
I
up.
wonder if he's talking about my hoodie or yours.
Oh, he can't be talking about mine. This is one of my other brands. This is my fitness brand, Burning Sands. So, you know, I have Bars Raw, but then I have a fitness brand as well. Bars Raw, my street brand. This is my fitness brand. I went for a night run. And so this is what I wear when I do my night runs. But I think he's probably talking about your hoodie. He got to be talking about your hoodie. What up, 100 watts?
Yeah, you see, you got to be a Morehouse man in order to get this joint. You feel me? You can't just be, you know, it literally says Morehouse man don't cheat. So
Look, I'm going to throw this up over my face, you guys. We're talking about marriage. Chris, you were married. Robert, you were married. I was married twice. We're all divorced. You guys are listening to some divorced brothers right now. We're divorced. I have a philosophy on who's responsible for most divorces, especially if you're coming from the mindset of tradition and who's in charge. But everybody may not have the same idea. But here, I want to read this. In fact, I'm going to post it up on the screen. That's what I'm going to do. I was going to read it off screen, but I'm going to post it. I'm going to post this, and I want you guys to all read this with me. Make it a little smaller. I'm going to put this right here. Park that right there. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the standard wedding vows. This is the standard wedding vows. Let's talk about the wedding vows. Let's read them. I'm going to read them to you slowly, and then I'm going to ask Chris, I'm going to ask Robert their thoughts. I'm going to give you guys my thoughts. Talk about it in the chat. And if you guys want to pull up, you can. Listen, I state your name. Take thee, state their name, to be my wedded husband or wife, to have and to hold from this day forward. To have and to hold. All right, we're going to read it slow. These are the traditional wedding vows that most people have read to get married in America. I take you to be my lawfully wedded husband or wife, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poor, for better, for worse. We can discuss what that means. I'm going to finish it and then we're going to come back. For better or for worse, for richer or for poor, in sickness or in health, in sickness or in health, to love and cherish. Think about the words I'm saying, everybody. For better or for worse, for richer or for poor, through sickness and in health, to love and to cherish till death do us part. Till death do us part. And then the rest of it, according to God's holy ordinance, and thereto I pledge thee faith. I grabbed this off the Google. This is what I got off of Google. But we all know it generally ends with until death do us part. Now listen, my thing is, what's love got to do with it? Marriage is a business. That's the title. Marriage is a business. It ain't got much to do with love. The vows is asking you to marry somebody for better or for worse. What does better or for worse mean, Chris? Oh, he's on the phone. All right, Robert, you hit me with it. What's better or for worse?
Man, for better or for worse, to me, that's you know, I'm gonna deal with you. We gonna have to make this thing work. No matter if for some reason you lose your mind, I lose my mind. we were supposed to be able to come together and figure out a way to make it work. Now, but I may go off the deep end. I may go off and do a whole bunch of silly things. And that person, to me, for better or for worse, still supposed to have my back, still supposed to support me mentally, still supposed to kind of bring me back, reel me back into where I was, to where I can be loved again. And the same goes vice versa. If, you know, God forbid, my woman just lose it, just fall into a depression. I'm still supposed to stand there and love her through that. I'm supposed to stand there and love her and give her that energy and lift her up and promote her, period.
I mean, if you
I'm
make
not supposed to give up. I'm not supposed to run away.
so there should be literally almost nothing that can make it. So for better or for worse, right? So that's for when the times is good, when the times are bad. If you I mean, theoretically, I guess you can incorporate infidelity in this. You can incorporate drug abuse, crime. If one day your wife just busts a bank robbery, should you ride for her? You know, she got better, or what if somebody becomes paraplegic, or somebody's confined to a wheelchair for the rest of their life? Like, what if somebody is hit with cancer right after the honeymoon? See, that's what better for worse is. That's your definition of better for worse. I agree with you.
There's one more thing.
There's one more thing. What
more
else
thing,
is it, Robert?
To though, like this, for better or for worse, this marriage.
Robert, you're in the Matrix, bro.
Yeah, Robert, you're buffering.
You got to get a direct connection to the internet, bro. You can't be doing that.
Go ahead.
So I'll jump in there. So you said that just the first part, for better or worse?
Yeah, we're just talking about for better or for worse. Especially because I'm looking at the stats over here, Chris. I pulled up the I'm looking at the divorce rate. I've looked it up for just black people. I'm looking at the divorce rate. It ain't looking good, bro. It's not nice.
So for better or for worse, in my opinion, is when things are up, I'm gonna ride with you. When things are down, I'm gonna ride with you. And I can actually attest to both, because in the first 3 years of my marriage, we both had full-time jobs. I was 24. I think I was making like 30 grand. She was 22. She was making like 34 because she was a first-time teacher. So we were making right about the same amount of money. And we went through in a year and a half about 50 grand in cash. And yeah, a year and a half and 50 grand. And that did not include our salary money. That was 50 grand in a year and a half. And after a year and a half, I had absolutely nothing to show it. So we were up. But here's what's crazy. When we were down and we lost the house, we lost both of our cars, and we ended up moving, things got worse. And there was no, I'm going to ride with you, I'm going to stick with you. And it just it literally got downhill from there. The disrespect happened and all of that. So I know that for better or worse, I didn't get sick, but my money got sick. My financial health got sick. And so that was part of the worst. Losing a home is probably, I talk about it in my book. Losing a home is one of the worst things that can happen to a young married couple. And this is in the 08 house, 07, 08, house crisis. So, yeah, man. So I think it means, that you stick in there even if it doesn't look good, because your partner needs support regardless of whether they're up or down. And the worst part is that not have somebody that you know you can count on, that you're supposed to be able to count on, and then there's nobody there. So that's where I'm on, for better or worse.
Yeah, man. Hold on. Let me pull that hold on one
Pull it
second.
back up.
Yeah, let me pull it back up. I had it on this screen. Oh, Robert's back. So let me pull him up. All right, Robert's back. Yeah, man.
You gotta switch us. You gotta switch us.
Oh.
My name is his name is mine.
And while we doing that,
He don't look in. I don't know. Your internet is always shabby, man. You know, we can't count on you at all,
it's
bro.
not always shabby. I don't know what's happening today. California got rain. Things change.
You got to go back to the other room that was brown, which you hit the one you had the little mic right here. You got to go back to that room.
Yeah.
So
Danae says, she said,
don't know.
it's because people don't understand the business of it. We're going to get into the business side of it tonight, you guys. Yeah, we're talking about the marriage vows. You know, with an 80% divorce rate in the black community, 80% divorce rate, it's over 80%. It's like 81. So we'll just round it down to 80%. Real quick, super awesome. Mr. Awesome, thank you for the $2 super chat. Everybody throw your ones up for Mr.
Being
Awesome.
number one isn't
You want
easy.
this one here? You know, I don't sell this particular style anymore. This is discontinued, but I got one for you though. I got one for you. This is the Burning Sand. This is the logo of one of my fashion brands. I created it. I created this in Photoshop myself some 20 years ago. You know, and this is the Burning Sands. The brand's color is orange. So I got you, Mr. Awesome. Listen.
my son is in the kitchen, Kelly, just for the FYI.
Oh.
I made him. He got off work. He had to come home and clean the dishes. So that's what you hear.
Listen.
Sorry.
For better or worse, you say it got worse for you, Chris.
Got worse before it got better.
Damn, them dishes, bro. We're gonna have to. You got it. You're gonna have to.
I'll fix it.
Yeah, now it's clear. No matter what happens, somebody, you know, I guess when I talked about the cancer and I talked about somebody becoming a paraplegic, that's the sick part, right? And we didn't get that far. We're talking better for worse. We're talking about the stuff that you can control, like attitudes, like happiness, like sex, like drug abuse. Well, no, I guess we could attribute drug abuse to sick, but even if we touched on all of them and put them all together, Chris talked about for the money side. He touched on the second one, for richer or for poor. He said his money got sick. Things got worse. For me, I'm not going to discuss the details of why my divorce happened. I'm not here to I'm not here to dog anybody out or talk about any. In fact, my exes are my friends. They're currently my friends. But I will say that too many marriages end in no vow breaking reason. Too many marriages end for no vow breaking reason. The number one cause of divorce is irreconcilable differences. And those irreconcilable differences, in my opinion, land in that for better or for worse category, where people are just saying, you know what? Yeah. I'm sick and tired of you. You get on my nerves. I don't like how you talk to me. You know, you don't come home at night. You don't make me feel good. And I'm sick. I want something new. I want to find something better on the other side. And the people don't put in the work. They don't put in the work.
But you know what, Shannon, is really kind of crazy on that. And I won't either talk about why I got divorced. But what I realized is that people put irreconcilable differences because they don't want to actually say what the reason was. So they'll use that as a default. So like for my marriage, I can tell you what happened. I won't. And I wish that, you know, my ex-wife and I were more friendly. But we used, well, I won't say we, She used irreconcilable differences because she asked me to allow that to be the reason for divorce, and because I was done at that point, I just accepted it.
Yeah, and I think it's public record, right?
So yeah, and so I wonder how many people use that as the reason to masquerade the other true causes.
I agree. I'm with you 100%. That's exactly why people do it, so they can save face. Shame.
Yep.
Shame.
Yep.
Shame. People are so worried about what other people think that they're causing their marriages to happen. And then even in divorce, they don't want to go where they have to explain themselves. Because to be honest with you guys, divorce is a lawsuit. Divorce is theoretically, you're getting sued. There's a plaintiff and a defendant. We call in divorce, they call it a petitioners, the petitioner and the respondent. That's just fancy words for a plaintiff and a defendant. You're getting sued to get up out of that contract that you guys had, because that marriage is a business contract. We could discuss that as well. But the reality is, if people knew more that it was a business contract, more so than anything, at least here in America, then people will probably go into their marriages a little bit different. And that's why I want to talk. We want to give a little game. Let's give these people a little bit of game tonight on some of the things that they can look out for. When we talk about for better or for worse, we talk about for richer or for poorer, through sickness and health, but it ends with this: to love and to cherish. To love and to cherish. Now, Robert is my nemesis, you guys. Robert is my nemesis. Just want to put it out there. Robert is the protagonist, and I'm the antagonist of the movie. Right? I'm Darth Vader, and he is Luke Skywalker all day long. And we don't agree on a lot of things when it comes to relationships, but I love him nonetheless. That's my brother. Robert.
Same here, man. Yeah.
Explain to the people what you feel. How much is love and cherishing important in a marriage for you?
For me, honestly, it is one of the things, and you're gonna like some of my answers later on. You ain't gonna like this one. But for me, love is everything to me. I believe that love is supposed to help you conquer everything that you go through in a relationship. All these examples for reasons why people end up having a divorce, all these examples of how we're supposed to treat one another that's up there on the screen right now, all of those are covered by love. We would go through, we would go through a whole lot more for a person that we love than someone that we're just dealing with or that we're just trying to get by with. They would bug us a whole lot easier. But where somebody that we love or we're actually in love with can do the same thing that somebody else does that bothers you, and we'll accept it, or we'll even like it. You know what I mean? So for me, love is for me the biggest proponent to a relationship, to a marriage.
The biggest.
But that's the biggest. But I got another answer for the other side, because I realize that is not the only thing important in a relationship. You know what I mean? You can have all the love you want to. That love gets tested, gets very easily battle tested if you don't have that logistics in order. If you don't have your business end of the relationship in order. So,
got it. Chris, it ends with love and to cherish your wife, and for your wife to love and to cherish you. This is the last thing on the list. After the better or for worse, after the sickness and health, after poor or rich. How important do you believe love? That wonderful, those butterflies. How important is that in respect to marriage in America?
So for me, love is not equated to the feeling, but more so this part of love in this particular vow is more about the decision of love. And so not necessarily the feeling, He bought me flowers. I feel so gleeful and happy and blah. Not that. That part is like 5% of it. The part that matters the most is, what did I decide to do when the butterflies are gone? And I can't remember the quote. I think it goes something like, you must commit to what you decided to do long after the feeling or the excitement that you set it in has passed. So if you're talking about that part of love, where you decide to love your partner, even if you don't like them at the moment, even if what they're doing or they did is offensive. And I'm not talking about like abuse or stuff like that. But what I mean is, if it's possible for you to forgive that person, then that part of love, because it then becomes two parts. So I believe that love is trifold. Love is an action, it's a decision, and it's a feeling. So you don't leave out the feeling of love, but when you decide and you take action, that part of love, and that part only, is like 95% of everything. The feeling is going to come and it's going to go. I'm going to, be in love with you sometimes based off of what you do. I'm going to be in love with you based off the thoughts that I think. And sometimes I'm not controlling my thoughts. And just to be perfectly honest, because I'm not controlling my thoughts, I might not love the feeling that I feel at the moment. But when I decide and I act on it, then those two parts, that can cover that other 5%. So if we're talking about it in parts, 95% is in a percentage wise, but the decision part for me and the action part for me, that's the most important.
Got it. So now here's my thing. I agree. I understand what you guys are saying. The only thing is, I think a lot of this information is coming in hindsight. I think these are the things that we're discovering.
Absolutely.
We're discovering this shit after the fact. This is after,
absolutely,
the love, because the reality is, like, who wrote it in here? Princessa says, listen, you guys, love, lust, and like are three different things. Love, lust, and like is three different things. Danae says love is an action. Princessa, she says love is not the butterflies. The problem is, most people think it is the butterflies.
Correct.
I thought it was the butterflies. I married my college sweetheart. We started a business together. I'm married. I'm married. Okay, so quick, my story. Short story. I'm married for love, you guys. And here's the thing. I was in business with both of my girlfriends before we got married. We started businesses together. Lots of money involved. There was lots of money involved. In the business, I didn't take care of the business because I was so in love with them. And I just thought the business would flourish. And you know what's weird is I didn't follow my advice after my first divorce going into my second marriage. I did the same thing over again. I did the same thing over again. My first wife, we opened up a hair studio. It was called Chris Ann's Barber and Braid Studio. I had put a ton of money in there. Built it out the whole nine. And then I became a film producer. She became a costume designer. We were both working in Hollywood. We kept our business. We shut the business down a year before we divorced. We had some problems. Problems had arose. Then we opened up a boutique, a clothing boutique. We was butting heads in the clothing boutique. It wasn't really going as well. And I could talk about the traditional roles and the leaders and how things should be. One problem that I had was that whole partnership shit. I believed in the whole power couple thing. I believed in the partner and I believed in the Huxtables story. I believed in the Cosby Show. I tried to recreate the Cosby Show. And I thought I was in love, and I didn't, and so while it's easy, I think it's really easy for us to say what love is now, especially after having lost it and lost our marriages. Most people doesn't get married for that. They get married for the reason that they think it's all about feeling good, especially women. Women fall, and that's and therein lies one of the reasons why women are the ones that's running to divorce court. They're not running to divorce court because they understand that marriage is about duty. they're not running to divorce court because they realize that marriage is an economic contract between two people. That's not where they're doing it. They're running to there because they're not happy no more. He doesn't make her feel good like he used to. She abhors having sex with him. She don't even like laying up under him. It grosses her out for whatever.
True story. My family calls me. I don't ever tell anybody outside of my family my nickname, but my family calls me Macadocious. I won't go into it. It's a nickname that I've had for probably 25, 30 years now. I don't know. But it's called Macadocious. And I will never forget the day.
Chris, you're going to have to change that chair.
2007.
That chair is killing us.
Oh, the chair. Oh, okay. I won't bounce.
You ain't going to be able to stop.
I will. I'll never forget the day when my cousin said to me,
Macadocious.
Or my wife said to me in July, you need to, basically catcall. You need to treat me like Macadocious. And I'm like, we're 5 years married. And I'm like, I need a what? And I understand it now, that I didn't understand it then. But what she was saying was I needed to flirt more. I basically needed to treat her like a side piece, if you will, or just more, like make her feel more desirable. So I'm gonna switch a chair out.
All right, cool. But look, Mika says, listen, it's important. This is why she believes that you have to like the person whom you decide to wed, and that comes true with endured friendship. Here's the problem with that, Mika. My first marriage, when I proposed, I married the preacher's wife. I married Bishop's daughter, and I proposed in church. I proposed in church in front of the congregation on Sunday.
Ooh, that's
tough. I proposed to the bishop's daughter in his church during service in front of the entire congregation. And part of my speech, because it was listen, I was cold piece. You talk, it was wonderful. She couldn't have said it. It was one. I set up one of them. You can't say no situations. I set up one of those. You can't.
Yeah,
say
that's
no.
tough. That's cheat. That's a cheat code. That's a cheat code.
But listen, part of my proposal, I had a speech memorized. I laid it all out, and like Mika says, I told her, I said, not only, see, here's the thing. I like you. See, at the time, I liked her. And I loved her. I fell in love, of course, but I liked her. And as Mika's saying, you got to like the person. But the problem is, you don't always like people for a long time. People become something else. People become something different. And I don't like what you become. I like who I married, but I don't like who you've become. I don't like what you've changed to. Or let me throw this one at you. And I'm not indicting anybody. I'm just saying, I don't like what I discovered. You see, you didn't reveal this to me. It's almost like I was, you did a switcheroo. I didn't know this about you before I married you. Now that I'm married to you, I'm discovering things. There's more discovery in realizing, oh, wow, you didn't show this or tell this to me when we were dating. What I see now, oh, I don't like that. I don't like that. So while I understand where you're coming from, Mika, that's part and parcel of the problem. That's why I'm saying, that's why the title here is love ain't got shit to do with it.
That's what you gotta be vetting, man. You gotta be asking questions that you don't think about. Because here's the thing: when you get in the thick of it, like when you're married, right? Let's say you have kids, and your kids are starting to grow, and before you have kids, it's just you two, right? Mm-hmm. But when you have children, their parents and your parents and their grandparents and their grandparents and their aunts and uncles now come into play into how you discipline, take care of, and teach and coach and mentor and love on the kids. For example, my ex-wife, her dad, and this is no shade to her dad was the type of person that you had to get straight A's, right? And if she brought home less than an A, she would get in trouble. And I mean serious trouble. I had a mom that didn't care if I got straight A's or not. She never said it, but here's the thing. Throughout in my entire high school, middle school career, throughout my entire school career, I was in the top 5-10% of my class. High school, top 10% of my class, 3.4 GPA, blah, blah, blah. I had all the accolades. So here now these two people that are having children and a lifestyle of you better get straight A's and okay, it's okay if you get straight A's and I ain't gonna trip. Do your best, right? Now you're having kids. So just because you like them, you don't know that that's the case unless you vet them properly. And that's the thing. A lot of us did not know the things that we know now before we got married. And I think, and this is the honest to God truth, I think that if we knew some of the things that we know now about what to do in marriage, we might not have picked that person. If we were to learn them before marriage, like if we take 6 months to learn them before and we ask a lot of questions like the ones that I wrote in my book, if we do that, I'm telling you, as sure as shit stank, I'm telling you, we probably wouldn't have picked that person.
But what about the people that what about when
see,
you think you could change somebody though, Chris? Because a lot of times we think see these red flags. See, I get the vetting process that you, and I want you to plug your book a little later, but even if you go through the vetting process and you identify a red flag, oftentimes we think people, since we all know that, nothing stays constant and people change, we think people will change for the better. We think a red flag will not necessarily get worse or bother us long term or be death by 1,000 cuts, but maybe it'll get better. Maybe people will improve from that. So should people, when they realize something that can be potentially a problem long term, give up a wonderful person simply because they think that long-term issue may actually prevail? Or should we consider, you know what, they'll change or they'll get better, or they may not do drugs, or they may not be a hoe no more, or they may not lie. They may not lie. May not lie.
Let me explain. Let me sum it up the way that my mentor sums it up for me. Every decision that I make when it comes to a woman, and this is literally how I decide if I'm going to get into a relationship or not with a woman. After we've been talking and getting to know each other for a couple of weeks, or even if it's, a month or two or whatever, my final decision is, can I live with them for the rest of my life if they never change? That is the question that I ask. No matter how much I vet, no matter how many questions I ask, if I see a red flag, should you drop them? Absolutely. Because a red flag should be a deal breaker. It should be, you know what? You're going to do this once. I'm going to tell you that if you do it once, if you do it again, I'm done. That's what a red flag is to me. So my red flag is abuse, physical, sexual, financial, any type of abuse, right? If you do it once, I may give you a little leeway, right? Let's say you may yell at me. I'll tell you, hey, listen, if you do that again, our relationship is over. And I mean that. And not you do it again, I forgive you, I'm going to, let you get another chance. No, you did it. I told you, you did it again. I'm done. Have an amazing day. You're an amazing person. That if you take it from that perspective, it literally changes how you start to see people, because now the feeling is not, ooh, I like the person. It's more like, okay, if I tell them this, they continue to do this, they're not going to change, right? Because the decision has to be, I have to live with them the way that they are, no matter if they change or not. If they don't change, you got to go with that. They're not going to change. And I made the huge mistake of trying to change people. My ex-wife, girlfriends. God, I'm still single. Robert, what you got? Can you change people, Robert?
Man, I dig that. I actually like that point of view that you have with a red flag cutoff switch. a lot of us operate with red flags that are like things that are not even something you want to cut somebody off. It may be something you really don't really like it, but it's not your cutoff switch. It's something that you may be able to actually, something you may be actually able to live with that person with. So I definitely like that. For me, I don't know, man. The way I operate with the whole cutoff thing, I think I need to probably adapt Chris's thing. I may actually move into that. See, I'm here to learn as well as talk. Because my red flag thing is I may see something I dislike, and I try to either dig deeper into it and see if it's something that somebody is willing to work on themselves. And if they're not, then maybe I have to move away. But I tend to
it's hard to
not
cut
allow
people
that
off,
to be work on that.
It's hard to cut people off, especially when the sex.
Y'all know.
When the sex is good. What up, Shaheed? Can you hear us?
What's the deal?
Oh, there he is. Yeah, man. When the sex is good, it's tough to cut somebody off.
Here we go.
You know, when somebody, when they do so many great things, but then they have that one thing that you think that you can tolerate, and it's just like, you know what, I can't. You know, even especially when you tell them over and over again, and they continue to do it, it's like, damn, does it get worse? And see, at the time, you'd be so mad that you'd be like, yo, I'm not fucking with you no more. And then, you know, 4 days go by, then you start missing them. You start thinking about them. You start be like, you know, like, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna give in. But then how often do you do that? That's where the relationships become a roller coaster. It's up and down, up and down. And some people go on these roller coasters for years. Some people ride these up and down marriage roller coasters of happiness and sadness, you know, week in and week out. You know, you get to the point sometimes where in a marriage, you know, let me tell you like this. I'll disclose this one thing. I got to the point where in one of my marriages, I was arguing so much I had to buy a calendar. I had to buy a calendar, man. I went to Staples. I went to Staples or Office Depot. I went to Staples and I bought a calendar. And I said, listen, every time we fight, I'm gonna mark on this calendar what we fought about and just mark it so we could see, so we could look back and say, damn, look how often we fight. And I did that, man. And 1 month, it was almost like 50-50. Like we fought 15 days out of the month, and and probably the times that we didn't fight, we didn't talk much. And it's like, damn, is this the roller coaster that you talk about? You up and down, and shit is going good and it's going bad. And then when you look, and then here's the fucked up shit. When you look at what you fought over, it was always stupid. Which goes back to what Mika was saying in the chat. With you gotta like them, cause see, if you fighting with somebody over some petty shit that don't matter in the long run, it's not really affecting no bank accounts. It's not affecting no careers. It doesn't bother no children. It's not affecting nothing, but you fighting over like really petty shit. Like, you know, why did you fold the clothes like that? Or how come you left, you know, only a sip of fucking juice in the refrigerator, in the jug? That ain't enough to pour a glass.
Wait.
I've seen a fall.
Why didn't you put the toilet seat down when I got two hands of my own?
Yeah, just little shit like that. And you look at it, and you say, "Damn, we bickering and we fighting over one thing." But see, I got to the point also. I said, "Man, I think I tried to get spiritual. I was like, yo, I think demons are." I said, "We're allowing." And see, a lot of times when I argue, I say "we" when I really want to say "you." I try to be nice. I'll be like, yo, you know, I'll be like, we're letting a lot of people influence us, and we're letting a whole lot of demons into our relationship. I really want to be like, motherfucking you getting influenced by such and such, or you letting the demons fucking bother you. I'm saying that this is what we need to do, but then maybe somebody's checked out. Maybe they're checked out and they don't even want to try no more. People, it's not even about effort, and that's what we talk about when we had the vows up. The vows was saying things like, you know, through better or for worse, for better or for worse, for better or for worse. And so during the worst, we're supposed to still stick it out. But let me just keep it 100. This is women don't stick it out for better or for worse. Women do not stick it out for better or for worse. Women, when the times get tough, women is gone. I'm out.
You know
Now,
what they say now, Shan?
the flip side to that is
I'd rather
it
be-
because men be fucking up so much? Do men fuck up so much that women can't take it anymore? I mean, it's different ways you can look at it. I have my opinion. I believe hell no. I don't believe. I don't think so. I think women. I think we get back to that whole Disney fairy tale. I don't believe that marriage is about mushy butterflies and Disney fairy tales. And girls have been indoctrinated since childhood, man. Girls have been watching Cinderella. Ladies, you guys have been watching Cinderella since you was a little girl, and you were told that all you had to do was put on this slipper and put on a pretty dress and go to the ball. And when you get there, Prince Charming is going to pull up and he's going to sweep you off your feet. And that you've been told that since a little girl. And in the back of your mind, you've been waiting on that. And the moment that your husband, who's not necessarily Prince Charming, and he didn't necessarily pull up on an all-white horse, a stallion. He didn't pull up in a pure white stallion. And he didn't sweep you off your feet and take you off into the rich palace to live. That somehow you feel that you're being robbed of what you were indoctrinated with since childhood. And because you don't get that, you go seeking it on the other side, thinking that the grass is greener over there. And that's where that's where people like me, because I don't know how these brothers feel, but this is how people like me say you guys are absolutely delusional. That is not reality. But Disney has told you that. De Beers told you to fall in love with a rock that we found in the ground. And get the biggest one that you can. De Beers told you that rock in the ground is your best friend, not your husband. They didn't tell you when De Beers. I forget when the ad came out. Diamond is a girl's best friend. I think it was around the turn of the century. I think it was the 1920s, but I'm not sure. Somebody look it up. If you guys are in the chat, go look up when De Beers came up with the slogan "Diamond is a girl's best friend." But they didn't tell you that your husband was your best friend. They didn't tell you that the man that's covering you and taking care of you and doing all his is working his ass off for you to have a house to sleep in is your best friend. They told you that the diamond that they found in the ground, they told you that a rock that they found in the ground is your best friend. And to get the biggest best friend you can get. And if you don't get a big best friend, he might not be worthy of you if he don't get you a big best friend. And it's the little shit. It's the
1950s.
Was it the 50s?
1950s when Marilyn Monroe first sang the song "Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend" from the film "Gentlemen Prefer Blondes."
Mm-hmm. So I think somebody's getting ready to say something.
I was going to say, women now say things like, after they've been divorced, they don't want to rebuild with a guy. They say things like, I'd rather be by myself than have struggle love. And I'm like,
here's another one. No shade to anybody, no shade to anybody. And say, that they want to build with their man. They want to work with their man. But whenever they find somebody that's suitable for them, the first thing they want to do is, if he's not already in that position, they don't want to attach themselves to him. Do you know what I mean? So if he's not already successful, already big in business, they don't want to attach themselves to him while he's growing the business, while he's growing his idea, while he's working in his purpose. So.
Oh, they say it's buffering again. It's funny because it's not buffering for us. Hold on. Oh, that was Wes. I don't know if Wes is trying to pull up. I don't know, you guys. It's clear for us.
You were saying about that Disney thing, Shannon?
Yeah, go ahead. Robert,
that Disney thing, because
Robert, you
nemesis.
Robert,
But
you freezing on us, Rob.
oh, is that okay? I don't know what to do about that. Let me see.
Yeah, Robert's freezing up on us. Hold on, let me swap spots. All right, anyways. All right, okay, you back, Chris? Listen. Oh, Robert's back. Okay, listen, guys. Listen, my point is this, man. I got married twice for love. I don't know that I'll get married again. If I do, it won't be because I'm head over heels in love. That's not happening. Unfortunately, see, the second time I got married, I didn't know that even the things that I know now. I knew that I wanted to get married, and I knew I wanted to get married for love, but I thought that maybe I should do a better vetting. I thought that there was I thought I was going to be looking for different red flags. The problem was the problem that I had in my second marriage, and when it came to selecting, and who my ex-wife, who's a good woman, right? I was looking for the problems that I had from the woman in my first, and was like, yo, man, I can't deal with that. If I can't deal with that with my first wife, I won't ever be able to deal with that in my second. So I made sure that the second woman that I had didn't have the same poor attributes that I didn't like, that didn't work for me in my personality, that my first wife had. And she had none of those. She had none of those. She came with none of the issues that I had in my first wife. And so I was late when I went out, when I was on a dating scene, and I was like, yo, I'm looking for, I made sure that the things that I had issues with in my first marriage, in my first wife, I did not see in my second. I saw none of them. Because I didn't have a mentor, and I didn't necessarily go see therapy or anything like that, I had no counseling. What I didn't take into consideration was that while she was void of all the problems of the first wife, she came with a whole new set of problems. She came with new things that I couldn't deal with, and things that I'm sure that I had that she couldn't deal with. So while she's not anything like the first person I was with that I didn't like, and I thought that was fantastic, there was other things that was presented to me that I couldn't take as well. Some which was worse in my eyes than the first one. Didn't think it could get worse, but you never realize that until later. That's why I say hindsight is always 20/20. It's always crystal clear after the fact. But sometimes after the fact is too late. So when people say, Shannon, how do you feel about marriage? I support marriage. I believe Shaheed needs to get married. I believe Shaheed should get married. I support marriage, but however, for me, I don't know that it's necessarily in the bag because of a few factors. It's a few things that I know now it's a lot of wisdom I have now that I didn't have before. I wish I could have talked to my younger self, but I wasn't able to do that. And I had nobody else that was able to talk to me. One thing I realize now, that marriage is an economic contract, man. It is an economic unification between two people. It has to make dollars and cents for me. It didn't have to make dollars and cents for me the first two times. And even though it did, because we were in business, but the businesses failed. My businesses failed as a result of my personal relationships. So here's a question. Shaheed, do you think you'll ever get married? First of all, how old are you again, Shaheed?
I'll be 34 in March.
So Shaheed is only 33 years old. I'm 49. Chris, you're 41. And Robert, how old are you again?
37.
And so Robert is 37. So Robert and Chris, you guys, is marriage on the horizon for you two brothers? And if it is,
well, let's let Shaheed answer first.
Go ahead, Shaheed.
Yeah, for me, I definitely want to be married, but I think, some of the mentors that you guys spoke about, I had those in my life and I've seen, they've, handled me pretty well. So for me, my generational pool of women that I would be choosing from to marry, they don't think logistically when it comes to marriage. They think it's strictly on emotion and feel. So like, if I'm thinking like, how is this woman going to position us in the future? I don't give a fuck about, like, as long as I like you and we can move forward and build, I'm okay with that. Because I can fall in love with you for what you do for me, and you can fall in love with me for what I do for you. But I'm not about to be in love and then just make a decision based on love and you don't do shit for me. We can fall in love over anything. We fall in love. We love a lot of crazy shit just off the whim, but it doesn't really do anything for us. So for me, I'm looking at just my generation of women that I would be pulling from are not thinking from a contractual business standpoint. You know what I mean? They're thinking about the big white dress and the nice shiny ring and all the other shit, the family, the kids, and yada, yada, yada. But they're not thinking about, well, how do we as a unit come together and produce a healthy child mentally, physically, and emotionally? They don't think like that. That's why, like, I've worked in the education for the past 11 years. You just got two people coming together making babies, and the product is fucked up because nobody's thinking on like an approach. There's no plan to it. It's just like, fuck it, I like you, you like me. You know what I mean? Like, let's have a baby. So that is one of my fears. Like, even if you look back, just throughout history, like, you couldn't just marry somebody off of love. You got to bring something to the table. You got to offer something to that family in exchange for that woman. So I have no idea, but I definitely want to be married.
So, but it sounds like you in a conundrum. I mean, if the women that you look that you know, and potentially most of the women that you ever going to meet is looking for the big hoop, the big white dress. I mean, I had a big it was a big wedding, man. White dress, custom made, long trail of cars outside. The whole reception was laid out, fed everybody, party, did the broom jumping, fucking satin I mean, it was a big old gala. It was a gala. My first wedding. Went straight from the wedding to the airport. No. We went straight from the wedding to the hotel because we were flying out the next morning to the honeymoon overseas. I mean, it was all like it was textbook, man. My first marriage was textbook. It was planned perfectly. The marriage itself wasn't planned. My life together with her, we didn't plan that. We just figured it would work out like we just figured we just deal with each other. But the wedding itself, oh, that was planned. And she wanted that, and she got everything she was looking for.
And I think that's what a lot of women want, and they don't know. A lot of women don't want marriage, they want a wedding. Because that's what they've been, that's like the ultimate goal for a woman in life is a wedding, a big, nice wedding. It's like the ultimate fulfillment. Whereas, like, even I'm younger, so like I said, my pool of women is I'm into their psychology, and it's just like the goals that they have is always the result. It's always the end result of something, and never the process and the steps that it takes to get to that end result that they want to achieve. It's just like, we don't even know if this is the shit we want. You know what I mean? Like, if you would have told me, if you'd have asked me 10 years ago what I wanted versus now, like, shit, now I want Just give me a lot of land and a ranch, a couple horses, and I'm straight. But that answer would have been different 10 years ago. So, but yeah, like Shan said, I am in a conundrum. This shit is like, I don't know.
What about you, Rob?
So I think it's
go ahead, Chris.
I think it's definitely fair to say.
I think it's definitely fair to say.
Oh, I got an echo. Wes, is that you?
Yeah, they fixed it.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's definitely fair to say that I desire marriage. Again, one of the things that I'm running into is I have been married, and so I run into two types of women. The never married women before, and so their lofty ideas of marriage is what Shahid alluded to. Some of them, they fantasize about the wedding and, but they don't ever talk about, what we're going to do afterwards or how we connect or how we build and make where we currently are separately better. And so for me, if I'm going to be in a relationship with a woman that's going to lead towards marriage, she has to make me better, and I have to be able to do the same. She can't just come home, go to work, and come home. That does nothing for me. I already did that, so I can't have that. And then the other ones I run into are the ones that have been married, and this is not every one of them, but this is some. They have been married and they don't want to be married anymore because they don't want to put the work in. They don't want to do anything. They just want to be with somebody just to be with somebody, to have somebody. And that can't be me. You can't just have me to take me off the market so I'm your possession because I treat you well and I'm doing you great. You can't. That's mm-mm, mm-mm. Mm-mm. In order to possess me, so to speak, you have to make me better. And if you don't make me better, I don't want it. So I desire marriage because I'm not looking to get married just to be with one person. I'm looking to make you better, to make more money for you, to make your ideas better, to to help you with your thoughts, help you become a more well-rounded person. And I want your reflection to be what I'm reflecting. And it doesn't have to be everything match for match, but some basic things like make me a damn better person. Like make me think about my decisions before I just make them. So I do. I look forward to being married again, but I'm not just taking anybody this time. So I did that already.
What up, Wes?
What's good? What's good? Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. Listen,
it's good to be with you, gentlemen.
We was talking to the young cats on the board, man. We was talking to Shahid. We was talking to Robert. Robert's 37. You said, Rob?
Yeah, 37.
I got married my second time, Rob. I was 43. I got married my second marriage. I got married at age 43. Got married.
Rob's still a baby.
In 2015, I was 40. I was 42. I was turning 43 that year. But I got married in January 2015, which means that I was 42. So 5 years from now, Robert, is the age at which I got married if I was you. But again, I got married for love. I was in love with her, and I did not pay attention to the finances. I did not consider the business. I didn't look at all the things that I should have looked at. Now, you said you want to get married again, right, Rob? Rob, you was married before. You want to get married again?
Yeah, I'm good.
And you want
to get married again eventually here.
And you want to do it for love. That's the primary reason.
Let me explain. Yeah, love is going to be the primary, but I'm not just going to go with the Disney, the fairy tale. I do believe that love should be the forefront, but I also believe in validating everything that you do in your relationship, validating the reason why you love this person, and then also the logistics of the relationship do matter. I think that we often Shahid kind of alluded to it. We often get into relationships and we don't necessarily know what it takes. We don't know the logistical part of what it takes to maintain that relationship. The love may go in and out, but if that love ain't there, I'm a whole lot, for me personally, if that love isn't there, I'm a whole lot less tolerant. I'm not going to deal with everything that a marriage you end up dealing with. So that's why love is at the forefront. But I'm not going to walk into the situation and act like the logistics are not important. Act like where we live isn't important. The finances isn't important. What we do together, who is leading the household. I'm not gonna act like that's not important. That's definitely at the top of the list as well. But when I get married, I'm going to have all of that in place as well and hope for the best. I mean, I get the risk that I run by saying, you know what, I want love to be the leading factor in my relationship. I get that that sounds risky. I feel like it's more of a risk to walk in and the thing I love in the relationship is the product that we produce. Because at the end of the day, we can stop producing whatever product it is, and do we have love left over? Do we still have one another's back? Or once that product is spoiled, is it time to end the relationship? So I gotta have it all. I refuse to get married until I have it all. I refuse to get married until I know that I have the love.
Are you prepared? Are you prepared to die alone?
I'm prepared to die alone. I'm prepared to go at it. Whatever way happens, it happens. But either way, statistically, it can happen either way.
You know, one of the things that I've learned over the years, though, like more from a religious perspective, one of the things that I've learned is how unimportant or why you should not be a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Like when you're at that stage and you're ready for marriage, you should begin that courting stage and that courting process and go right into it. Because when you that's where a lot of the bullshit takes place, is in that boyfriend girlfriend stage, and you so heavily. That's why you have women saying like, well, we can't even differentiate what the duty of a husband is, a wife, a girlfriend, and what a boyfriend should get over a husband, and yada yada yada. And it creates all this confusion. While as when you go, you don't get to have the cake and eat it too. Now it would backfire for me because I probably would never get married. But I've learned the importance of courting to marry versus just this getting stuck in this boyfriend girlfriend stage. And then, because the reality is, and I'll speak more so for men. Now I'll speak for myself. I won't even speak because I won't speak for you guys. The reality for me is, what I see is, okay, this is my girlfriend. We've been together for 10 years. Fuck it, let me go ahead and do it. That's what typically happens.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I think that, you know, over the years I have learned how detrimental that boyfriend girlfriend stage can be.
Wes, you've been married before, right?
Twice, like yourself, brother. Twice married, twice divorced.
Oh shit. Okay, so here, let me organize this stage real quick. Hold on, real quick. So I gotta throw Wes up here with me. No, wait. Wes is gonna come up here with me, right? And then we're gonna put Robert over here on the left hand side. We're gonna put Robert right here. And then
real quick, before y'all start off, and Shan kind of already gave his answer. What I hear, like when older men see me and they hear what I got going on for myself, I don't believe. I definitely know Obi-Wan is not this guy, but I hear a lot of men when I talk to them, older gentlemen, they want me to stay. They tell me don't get married, like run away. And I know, like Shan told me he want to see me get married, and I know Wes' perspective on it, but why is that?
Look, okay. Well, first, I'm gonna answer that question because I got the segments laid out here. We're gonna talk about roles in marriage, traditional versus modern day, and then we're gonna talk about the ages that are best to get married and why I want young brothers to get married But then do I have a different perspective for older brothers? So we're gonna get to that. And then we're gonna leave this off with the women. Because I got advice on women. Because remember, I put a lot of the onus on the problems in the current relationships on women. It's almost like I'm blaming women for everything that's fucked up. Really, that's just me. But listen, Wes.
Yeah.
You twice married, right? Yeah. Twice divorced. That's me and you. So we got two twice married, twice divorced brothers. On top, I got Robert, who was previously married. We got Chris, who was and we're covering Shahid. We're protecting Shahid, fellas. We had to put Shahid in the middle. We had to cover. We had to huddle him up. Right? We got to cover him. We got to protect our brother from the problems. Wes, listen, man. Listen, we're talking about love and how important. What we're getting through right now is the title of the show. We're getting through the title of the show. Marriage is a business. It ain't really about love. That's how I feel. Right? Marriage is a business. It ain't about love. What the fuck does love got to do with it? Right? I got married for love 2 times, Wes. I'm divorced twice. I did not do the things that as a husband, I didn't do the things that I should have done to make sure things was right. And I didn't even follow my advice into my second marriage that I had told myself to follow from my first. And so now we talk about hindsight. We talk about all this information and knowledge. I asked the brothers about love. They told me what they thought about it. I said a lot of things that we kind of know only because we've gone through the fire. Tell me, Wes, how important is love in marriage? In your eyes, in your personal opinion, how important is love in modern day 2022 of marriages in America?
All right. So here's what I would say. If love is important to you, then you should absolutely not be married without it. However, as a guy who's big on love and emotions, I now understand that marriage is a business and it can be successful whether or not there's what people call being in love. So marriage, the success of marriage, I don't think is dependent upon love. But of course, if love is important for you, then I think you should make sure that you have it or have what you consider that to be within your marriage. But it doesn't override the business aspect of marriage, the goal-oriented aspect of what marriage and that union should be, for sure.
So you saying that business is priority?
Business is priority, absolutely, absolutely. And I didn't take care of business.
See, Robert thinks that love is priority. He says it can't do it without business. Robert didn't say love is only that holds it together. He said it requires all the elements, but Robert believes that the priority, the number one, is the love.
This is what I tell people. Don't fall in love with me for the product that I produce. Fall in love with me for who I am. I don't need you to support what I produce. I can build a team for that. I can hire an accountant. I can hire a marketing firm. I can do all of that to help build my business. What I need you for is to support my mental and to support my heart. Everything else, if I don't have those in order, on my side, the business is going to fall down. It's going to fall out. But that's me. I'm one of those people who I need that love to be at the forefront, right? And I don't downplay the logistics of it at all, because I do believe that is important. I do believe that affects the love. But once that product, whatever you guys are producing, if it hits a lull, y'all gonna fight like y'all ain't never fought before. Yeah. And if you don't have that love to say, you know what, let's reel it in. Let's reel it in. We can figure it out together. That's what we're here for. Then that's the reason why I go the way I go.
Yeah, I hear you. See, the only thing is, man, and Robert, this is just me, you know, I understand. I hear what you're saying. You know, for you, it's like, man, I need to have my heart covered, and that's gonna make everything else fall in place.
It's gonna make me want to do the work to allow everything else to fall in place. Because if that ain't it, and the business is going bad, and Susie's over here with a little skirt on. What's the purpose? Like, what's
But
the point?
Robert, the marriage is a business. Marriage is a small
Right.
business.
But
The
I'm
marriage
saying,
itself is a business. It is a legal and financial partnership between
okay, business with anybody. You can't do love with anybody. That's my. I can do business with me and you can go into business and we have a successful business. We'd be great. But
No, Rob, I
I'd want you
think
to
you.
adopt that.
Rob,
I want you to adopt that to your wife. But go ahead. Lay it on.
go
no,
ahead,
but
Shahid, and then I wanted to. Go
I
go
think
ahead, Rob. You want to finish?
I might already forgot my point. So y'all brother, go ahead and go ahead.
it
No,
sounds like
Since I'm old, Shahid, and I'm gonna forget, just like Rob, especially since he's in the room. It's contagious. Let me just knock this out really quick. So something that you said, Rob. Damn it, did I forget already? So,
I said that marriage is a small business. It is a legal and
right.
financial partnership between two people as far as the courts are concerned here in America. And a lot of people is removing the fact that they just started a small business together. Everybody that gets married just started a small business. Everybody that gets married in the United States of America just formed a small business, just formed a company. And you guys are partners in that company as far as the government is concerned. You guys are equal partners financially, economically, when it comes to property and business assets. They call it personal assets, but it's business assets when you're married. And you two just formed a business. You two just formed a corporation. And so when you say, look, man, you know what? I gotta have my heart covered. I gotta make sure that she loves me, and that she's, cause Susie over there with that little mini skirt, cause my wife over here not making sure my heart is right. You breaking the business contract. That ain't written nowhere in the paperwork. That's not in the paperwork, and I wish it was, cause that's why I got married first. That's what I thought it was supposed to be. I wasn't told right.
To love and to cherish is in the contract.
Hey,
That.
Rob.
It's in there.
Rob,
Go
you
ahead,
said something a second ago that stuck out. You alluded to, I can't remember exactly how you said it, but the whole thing that we've always heard, which is that you can't go, something along the lines of how you can't go. I think we can all acknowledge that you can love anybody, family, friends, the whole nine, but you can't go into business with everybody you love. Right? On the flip side, you can go into business with people you don't love. You can still have a successful business when two people have the same mindset. And so when you start thinking about marriage as a business, and then you just think about those truths that I just mentioned that we all pretty much are familiar with, they're just truths of life. Think about that. If marriage is a business, and it actually is, because otherwise, why do a contract? Why go have it filed at the courthouse? Let's just fucking and say we married. So being that it is a business in the eyes of the state for sure, then think about that statement that you can't go into business with everybody that you love. Some people that you love, and that means the heart and all of the love that you might feel for a woman. That doesn't mean that woman that you love the most, that you can go into business with that person. That person is a great business partner long term. However, on the flip side of that coin, you can absolutely have somebody that you respect. I think respect needs to be there. I think some level of attraction and care needs to be there. You can absolutely, and if the mindset is there, if the business mindset is there, the business of marriage is there between the two of you, you can absolutely be successful. You have a greater chance of being successful with that person than the person that you just madly in love with, and they're madly in love with you.
I 100% agree with you, Wes. I 100% agree with you. But that's why that for me, the love that's going to be at the forefront has to be validated. It can't just be, I'm all in love with you and we can't do business together. Gotta all be together. It's all we gotta be able to manage the logistics of the relationship as well. It's part of it for me. I just want that love to be, well, if somehow logistically we get screwed up, We can rely on our love to allow us to get. We can rely on loving one another to encourage us to build ourselves back up, either individually or together. We can build ourselves back up through that love. But if that love ain't, and the logistics still get messed up because we thought we were compatible to run this business together, and that fails, we have nothing left. And what's left after that is divorce. We don't have to rely on. We were relying on our business to keep our relationship going, and that's why I'm like,
Robert,
I got.
can you explain what build yourself up through love means? Because
Oh,
the,
all right, I got.
the way it sounds to me, and this is, I'm just gonna be flat out honest. The way it sounds to me, it sounds absolutely ridiculous. So,
All right,
because a love to me is all, yeah. I just explain it because I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to agree with that.
all right. So let me try to explain it. Um. Okay,
And
you've
it's
had
okay
business.
if you was talking out your ass. You know what I mean?
No,
Like just talking, be talking.
had businesses that have
It's
failed,
okay.
right? You've had a business that's
Uh-huh.
failed already.
Oh, yes. Jesus Christ.
Okay, so I'm gonna use that for an example because I've had that experience as well. I've had a business that's failed. If I'm in a relationship with someone and that business us doing business together was the only thing we were relying on, once that business fails, it's like, well, who's gonna support my mental? Because when my business failed,
You.
mental backed up. I
Well,
understand.
why can't you support your mental? You
You're
put
right.
so are you saying that it's incumbent upon your wife to make sure that you're mentally okay because something goes bad with you?
I'm saying that my wife will be the support that's there. My wife is gonna be the one that's, hey, I got your back. I
What
don't
if
want
she's
to. I don't.
going through something? What if
I don't
she's
want
going through some
to.
shit herself?
Huh?
What if she's going through something at the same time?
Then we got each other. We can go to a therapist together. But I got your back. The therapist is gonna help us with our mind. We can go to therapy. We can get the help with our mind. But I got your back.
I,
You
I
need
still
somebody around
I
you.
still don't understand this build ourselves up through love.
But that's what it is. Like if you've failed at anything and you are in a messed up spot, who's going to support you mentally, emotionally?
So are you saying like in the Christian respect, if you see your brother has fallen, you who are spiritual restore such a one? Is that what you mean? Build yourself up in love?
I guess that can kind of play into it. Yeah, I wasn't trying to go spiritual with it.
Well, I mean, I'm just trying to give myself some context because
But
now that I kind of context to it, I kind of understand. You don't have to break it down any further.
You know, it sounds like Disney
when
to
you
me. It sounds like a
but
Disney movie.
I don't. I
that's
don't.
what I was.
Right.
I wanted to put some meat on the bones of it because I was just like, "Oh, honey, I love you. You're
Sound
gonna
like
get better."
it's the Tyler Perry movie.
More like, look, listen, your shit stank. You need to get it together. And if you need some time, you can have some time, but no. So
But how
Shahid,
about you?
I would want you to get married. So to answer the question from earlier, I would want you to get married so that you can experience
Divorce.
What?
That's so disrespectful.
Oh.
I don't want you to get divorced. I want you to get married because I know how no, you know what? Let me retract my statement. I honestly don't care if you get married or not. I want you to be happy. I want you to grow. Um, and I want you to find what's best for you because marriage may not always be what's best, especially if you don't have a partner that is going to make you a better person and you make them a better person. Like we can all find somebody that's just going to be a piece of tail, right? That's everywhere, right? I mean, literally everywhere. Every time I talk to a woman, they always say, "Oh, you got options." Here's the thing. First of all, stop saying that. Second of all, it's true. Third of all, it's none of your business. But if you can find somebody that is going to make you the best version of yourself, then I would definitely say yes, go after marriage. If that's your goal with that one person and that one person only. But I know that your lifestyle is not my lifestyle, right? And that's so incumbent on I won't say one, but go after what makes you most happy. So if that's two people, three, do that. Um, make the most of your life and your years. And most importantly, I don't think it's said enough. And this is going to be real shallow, but since you are over 6 feet, make sure you're dating somebody over 5'7", so that when you have kids, you think I'm lying. Listen to me. You
No,
think I'm
but that
playing.
makes sense though. That's a business decision. Like that's
Don't because LeBron son is like 6'2", right? Now imagine if LeBron would have married somebody that was like 6'1", and the mama was 6'1". I mean, let's say 5'11". The mama and daddy was like 5'10", 5'11", and now his parents is tall, right? Now the grandparents is tall. The parents is tall. Guess what the kid's gonna be? Tall. And if an athlete and you want your kids to be, because my nephew is 6 feet, 6'1", 6'2". He was dating a 5'3". Nah, bro. His daddy said, "Look, we're trying to do legacy." And I mean, I know that might seem real shallow, but just consider that when you procreating. Because had I thought about it, I probably would have gave my oldest son's mom all of my kids, because she's 5'8", 9 or something like that, and her mama's like 6'1". My oldest son is like 6'2". I literally could have produced a whole squad
yeah.
instead
I
of
don't. I don't think that's
so
shallow at all. That's when I say business decision. That's what I mean. Like for example, we're the only community that really focuses so much on love when it comes to marriage. Like even if you
yep,
look at other communities, like let's take the white people for example. You can't just marry somebody because of love. They want to know what does her father do for a living? What is
yep.
their family background? What is they making business decisions on their future? Because it doesn't only affect those two people. So I don't think that's shallow at all.
Well, I'm saying it for the other people.
Yeah, but most people
Yep.
would think that's shallow because it's like, oh, you don't marry for height, you marry for love, and it's just like, yeah, I married for love, and like you said, I got a 5'4" son that can't make a left hand layup. So like, you know what I mean?
Or it's always getting blocked. I mean,
Yeah.
and no offense to the short people. I'm 5'8". I love the shorties. You feel me? So we could. My father was tall. Maybe your daddy could be tall. I got a son that's 6'2". I got a son that's 6 feet. We might be. Well, I can't handle more kids, but we might be able to get some if I was in a kid producing mode. But real talk. Oh, let me tell you something else. Have kids before it's too late, because you don't want to be 40 and you still like, even though you fit and healthy, you don't want to be 40 having your first kid. And this is just for me. I had my first kid at 20. My last son was born when I was 30. By the time he's gone, I'll be 48, maybe 49. I think about that. So when I want to live the later part of my life, I'm not still raising kids. So those are the decisions. Now I didn't think about that when I first got married, but I'm glad that now that I'm in my 40s, and a lot of people say go get the bag, set yourself up financially. Here's the truth of the matter. The bulk of your income gonna come after you 35, 40 anyway. At West, am I lying, Shan? The bulk of your income gonna come after 35 anyway. So I'm not saying struggle, but I mean you're gonna struggle one way or the other to raise a kid, because nobody prepares you for that. Nobody prepares you for marriage. There's nothing you could do. Like I won't go too far, but my son is 13 now, and I went to his room and I knocked on the door, and I'm like, okay, I wasn't ready for this. Like, this is just this is not you. There's not you'll never be prepared. You'll never have enough money. You'll never have enough time. You'll never have enough wisdom. You'll never be able to give every kid all of your energy. It just, hey, like a lot of, you hear women say, oh, I want to wait till I get married to have kids. And then they 35, 40, never married, no kids. And they have a decent career or a great career. Because they're waiting for the perfect moment. There's no perfect moment. I'm not saying have kids out of wedlock, but I am saying that there's no perfect moment. So that's my wish for you.
Wes,
I want to share something with Rob real quick. But first, I'd like to say that we are sponsored by Coca-Cola.
Wait. Who is we? Because I would like my check.
That's funny.
I'm gonna cut you a check. We're gonna cut you a check, $47. So look, Rob. So Rob, you and I are a lot of. I mean, of course, we're different individuals, but you and I, we have a kind of a kindred spirit when it comes to the emotional aspect of relationships and love. And I just want to caution you, bro. There's a couple things. So when you were talking about and I don't know if Shan spoke to this. I think he addressed you on it. Somebody did. There's a danger with the, I don't want you to put too much weight on your partner and love when it comes to the support that you might need, and that you're assuming that you're going to need, the support you're assuming that you're going to need. Because Shan also said something in the midst of that, like, what if she needs whatever? And here's the thing. If you're talking about being a man, and as much as it would be wonderful to have all of the emotional support that we possibly can from our partners, the reality of it is that you might be the stronger of the vessels in the relationship, and so you may never get that break that's in your mind, that you're thinking about, that you're imagining that you'll have in that safe place. Not that the place that she won't provide a safe place, but you may always find yourself having to be a rock, and that just comes with it. And so you could find yourself, if you've had an expectation of being able to be supported when you're down or all these other things, you might find yourself being disappointed to a place that actually makes you, that really rattles the cage, because you didn't expect it, and you didn't go into it leaning on the fact that you have to be your own support and then possibly support her. And from a mental health standpoint, man, I'm really big on mental health. I think it's the healthiest place is for you to be able to whether it's lean on yourself or external help, but not necessarily put that pressure and have that on your partner. Now, we know that there's a certain level that we want to be able to have that we can, lean on our partner with and whatnot. But I just think when I hear you put a lot of weight on all of those intangibles, and it sounds good, brother, but none of that may come to be for you. She may not be strong enough. You may have to do all of the heavy lifting, and you should expect to do all of the heavy lifting. And then anything beyond that is icing on a cake. This is the one thing I was going to say too earlier, was passion. So, you know how we talk about, so we can go out and have a successful job and career, or we can actually go out and be an entrepreneur and have a successful business, regardless of what that business is around, as long as we're well versed in it and the whole nine, and we bring in the people that cover the parts that we don't have. But what I would say to you is, remember, Shan said this as well. The marriage is the actual business. I heard you talk a lot about the business, the external businesses. Forget about all of that. The marriage in itself is a business. And I think it's great. The best case scenario is, yes, when we can, as entrepreneurs, go out and create a business around that which we are passionate about. And in the case of marriage, it's great when you can build a marriage around that woman that you love, that woman that you are passionate about. That's great. That's not the only way to build a business. And granted, that's what helps. And I get that. That's what helps, is when you love what you do, then it feels, well, it's a lie when they say if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. That's a lie. That's a lie. It's all work. But you at least remember what you're there for. So that's great, man. I just want you to know that you can still have a successful marriage. You can still build that business without searching for that perfect love situation. That person that you fall in love with, because that person may never come. And when that person does come, how often do we fall in love with someone who ain't worth shit, or at the very least aren't worth partnering with long term, or don't have the same mindset that we have? So if you're looking for that needle in a haystack, you might end up being 50 and still looking, like myself.
I hear you, man. And
although that's not my search, but
I hear you, and I understand everything that you said, and I take it in. I actually do take it to heart, and from time to time I battle with myself with that philosophy. And sometimes I say, you know what, maybe I should just go with this one, because I know business-wise we good. But I feel like maybe some of it's being missed, because I'm not saying that I'm not going to hold my own when it comes to my own mind and my own heart and everything like that. The Bible says, above everything, protect your heart. So you always got to protect yourself and build yourself up. But it's like the equivalent to what Chris just said. Somebody who makes you better. Y'all didn't have no problem when he told Shaheed that. But at the same time, whenever I'm saying somebody that can help build you up when you're down, help build you up whenever you're going through something, help be there for you, people who don't love you ain't going to respond the same way. And
so let me make sure that let me clarify this for you. I don't mean to not look for that. I'm telling you, once you find that, I think since that's on your agenda and in your heart, then find that. But what I'm telling you is that once you find that, that's great, but that is not going to, because what happens is, and I know because I married for love, and it blinded me to all of the business that should have been in place, and all of the tools and things that both of us might have been missing in order to have a successful business, that business being the marriage. And so I'm not saying don't look for that, but what I'm saying is when you find that, just know, because the temptation will be to make that the marriage. You fall in love, when you prioritize that, you look for the love, and then when you get the love, then you try to marry the love by any means necessary. That's what the heart wants to do, but that in itself is a mistake if it's without everything else. So what I'm saying is when you find that, don't force that to be the marriage, and know that once you find that love, that love also ain't got shit to do with the marriage. It is its own compartmentalized thing. You find the love, great. That shit is what it is. If you can make a business with this person, then that business can survive as long as it's compartmentalized. You know that, yes, I love this person, but we have a business to run together. That's really what I'm kind of getting at.
Hey, Rob, let me ask you, like, because I know for me that I got at least maybe 2 or 3 women that I absolutely love, but I cannot be with them we cannot be together. Like, do you have women like that? Because I know I do. Like, I could be, I love them to death, but I can't establish a partnership with you.
I don't have anybody in my life right now that's like that, but I do know what you're talking about because I dealt with somebody for 10 years that we absolutely love one another. But business wise, she has her own business. We both try to do things, right? But we are not compatible like that. Our marriage between us just would not work. Sex was great. We both feel like we love each other's being around each other. It's just business wise, yeah, it wouldn't work. So yeah, I get it. It's a Wes and everybody else really. We kind of saying the same things. It's just because I say I want that love, but I also have to validate it. Part of that validation is making sure that we can have a marriage that works. And part of that validation is making sure that all those logistics match up. Love and logistics. I feel like that's what it's all about. And for me, compartmentalizing that love in the relationship, I get that because the love, the butterflies ain't gonna always be there. I feel like it's important to do things to kind of bring them back, to bring that spark back and not get just stuck on the business aspect of the relationship. But, I feel like we kind of saying the same things. It's just, I do have that. I want to say it's a requirement, honestly. I want to say that that's a red flag for me. Like if the love ain't there, at least to begin with, I don't want to rely on a product of what we produce to build the love because that product ain't gonna always be there either.
Yeah, but that product can change up for you, man. And see, that's the advice that I give women. See, you're saying that what you don't want is the advice that I tend to give women. I tell women to marry the boring guy. I tell women that what love ain't got shit to do with it. Forget about all that fairy tale shit and all them damn Cinderella movies you watched as a girl. Marry that hard worker. Marry that guy that don't have a big dick. Ladies, marry that guy that's boring. He don't have to be a GQ fully 6 foot or taller, 6-pack and all that. Fuck all of that. You don't need that stuff, ladies. You know what I'm saying? Go with the guy that's gonna be best for you long term. And if he's sometimes an asshole or sometimes, maybe he's not all that good looking, that's okay. Maybe he don't make you feel all butterfly and you don't get all googly eyed every time, he get dressed in a suit. That's okay. I know you think that that's what's going to be important to you when you 60. It probably won't be. You're going to probably at 60 be wishing that anybody was laying next to you in that bed of yours, living in that small apartment all by yourself with them cats. Living in an apartment all by yourself when you 70. I mean, what Drake said it best, right? Didn't Drake say it in that song, in the lyrics that he wrote?
About his mom or something.
Yeah, he was talking about his mom. He said, you a flower child, beautiful child, I'm in your zone. Looking like you come from the 70s on your own. My mother is 66, and her favorite line to hit me with is, who the fuck wants to be 70 and alone? My mother's 66, and her favorite line to hit me with is, who the fuck wants to be 70 and alone? And I doubt that she gives a damn if he's 6 feet tall. I doubt that she gives a damn that he can go all night long. I don't think that she really cares about all that kind of stuff. And so that shouldn't be too much of a priority when you're young. But people aren't looking about that. And so I hear what you're saying, Rob. I hear what you're saying. The love and that agape has to be there, but odds are it's not going to last that long. And so then what else is there going to be, especially if you're not even putting that much stock on the other stuff?
That's where you validate. I'm not saying don't put stock on it. I'm saying validate and make sure that is there as well.
Okay, I hear you, boss.
But I'm not knocking what you're telling the ladies because there's a lot of truth in that. You might be looking for some dudes. You might be looking for a 6'6" dude. You cutting off a lot of dudes that's 5'10", and that's perfect.
Yeah. Wes,
that's what Robert like 5'10".
Wes, you've been married twice. You think you'll be getting married again?
So this is what I always say, man. I'm not necessarily looking for marriage. I'm happy with the lifelong partnership. I do want a partnership, but if I'm with a woman, if I truly love a woman, and the business is right, but the business. So here's the thing, and Shannon, I would love for you to get to. I'm curious about what you said that you have something for the guys who are older. I'm curious on your perspective on marriage for those guys, or if that's even a viable option. But The business of marriage matters less when you're at my age, because you've built whatever you've built. You're continuing to build whatever you're continuing to build, and it's less dependent upon that person and less dependent on how that person nurtures me. Like all the things that you're talking about, Rob, like you want that person to support you, and perhaps that puts you in a better position to get bigger bags or whatever the case is because of the piece. That's not so relevant for me at this age, because I am who I am. I don't necessarily need all of the things that I needed once upon a time when I was needy like yourself.
Shots fired.
Shots fired, no doubt.
I was too busy. I missed what he said.
Good.
He said
good,
you're
good.
needy.
I've been there.
That's me. I'm that.
But yeah. So for me, if I love a woman and the business is there, or at least my business, me being able to how can I put it? Me being able to construct the kind of marriage that is, as long as she doesn't encumber that we can kind of go my way and my vision, then if she wants to be married, perhaps she's never been married, perhaps she's been married and it's something that she truly wants. If I truly love her, I don't see myself not providing something for her that's within my ability to give. But it's going to take a lot, because I've seen a lot. I've been there and done that.
Yeah,
So
but
a
you would
lot
do
would
it.
have to be
But you would do it legally through with a marriage license and file it at the county registrar. Because you got to define, like, a lot of women that say, "Oh, I've never been married. I want to be married." Like, do you want to just be married because some shit that we do, or you want to be recognized? Do you want the marriage to be recognized by Uncle Sam? And see, and that's the thing. Like, so for instance, Shaheed left. I hate, like, listen, Ro Renee asked this question. She puts this up earlier. She said, "It's unfortunate that men are telling other men not to get married if they want to. They are projecting from their own negative experiences." That's what Ro Renee put up. Now, I think she may be responding to some people in the chat. I don't think she's necessarily responding to us, because I believe marriage is kind of necessary. But the reason why I'm still an advocate for marriage, and I'm an advocate for marriage for a specific demographic, is because of I believe in the nuclear family. I believe in the nuclear family. That's the reason why. And I think the nuclear family is what's going to be able to heal a lot of our problems in the Black community. So that's why I'm an advocate for marriage. But here, let me be clear. And I hear what you're asking me, Wes. Men over 40, for most men, and as we've been reading in the book Think and Grow Rich, this is the book that we're currently reading. Tomorrow we read chapter 12 at 9 o'clock in the morning. We've been reading this book, 15 chapters. Tomorrow morning we're reading it right here on my channel at 9 o'clock in the morning. And then in this book, in the chapter that we just read yesterday, it mentioned, he said himself that most men get into their financial stride when they're in their 40s. I forget where it said it. I should find it. If I don't find it in the next 3 seconds, I'm not going to even look. Yeah, it's in the book, though. Anyway, so the thing is, most men get into their financial stride, and financial stride is important. Economics is important in America, right? You got to be able to afford the woman in the family that you want to take care of. And so if you can't do that, hold on, let me, we lost my man. So hold on a second. Let me get this together. Get the screen together. And so the financially speaking, okay, so listen, men, we provide, we protect, and we problem solve for our families. That's what we do, right? That's the charge that I think that all men should have when they want to become quote unquote, a husband. As a husband, he must provide, protect, and problem solve. Now, provide, that means that he has to financially, economically spend money, make money to spend money to take care of the family, food, clothing, shelter, the necessities, the basics, right? Most men in America don't peak until they're 40 to 45. About 44 is the highest peak, generally speaking. And then men from 45 to 60 cruise. We're cruising at that time. So it's like an airplane that goes up. So you're in your 20s and you're in your 30s. And then when you get to about 40, you're up high. And then right around 45 to 50, you're cruising along. And you're just cruising, just making money. Some people tend to go higher. Some people tend to go lower. But you're cruising along when you're in your 40s. When you're around my age, when you're in your 50s. That's why we buy Harley Davidsons and we do silly shit like get fucking airplane licenses and do stuff like that, because we just cruising along, money's coming in, and we just enjoying life. But you peak when you're around 44, and then you could either stay up or you could come down a little bit, but you're on the rise in your 20s and 30s. Now, if you already have children, if you're a man, and I'm speaking to men specifically, I'm not talking to women, because women across the board want to be married at all ages. Women want to be married at all ages, from adolescence. They dream about marriage as little girls and want to be married if they're not predominantly is for the rest of their lives, for as long as they can live. Well into their old women want to be married. Now, for men I'm speaking to, and the reason I'm speaking specifically to men is because a lot of the burden, the financial burden, what's going on with the audio? A lot of the financial burden is placed upon men. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, alimony. 3% of alimony in America is paid to women. 3%, 97% of alimony is paid by men. Only 3% of alimony is paid by women to a husband. Only 3% in the United States divorces, the alimony is a woman paying her husband. Only 3%. 97% of alimonies in America is paid of a husband to a woman. The number one maker of female millionaires in America is divorce. Not entrepreneurship, not some fancy job, not winning the lottery, but getting a divorce. Most millionaire women became millionaires in America because of the divorce. 80% of divorces in America are initiated and carried through by women. Now, you guys got to make sense out of this. This is just the numbers. I'm a numbers guy. I'm just here to report the numbers. All women want to be married from childhood up. All women want to be married, yet it's women that's running to the divorce courts, and it's women that's getting alimony, and it's women that's becoming millionaires through divorce. You telling me that there's no, even on a subconscious level, a hustle in that somehow? Of course it is. Let's be honest. We having honest conversations over here, right? We're not playing. We grown adults over here. Let's have some. We're gonna speak in some realities and some truths. There's some hustle in that. And you ladies know that you've had conversations and you know some friends, and maybe you didn't agree with them overtly, but you've heard hustle in some of these women. And you was like, I don't really rock with her, but you still heard the message from her. And that's where men are like, whoa, hold on now. Whoa, hold on. All of the men is assholes? All of the men are a problem? All the men are shiftless? With as bad as women want to be married, you telling me all the men are? No, that's not the case. Some women just aren't getting what they thought they were going to get out of the marriage, and they think they can find something better. Some women just want to get to the bag, and they just wait it out for 10 years so they can get the alimony. Let's keep it 100. That's the reality of it. And so I'm speaking to the men. Tell me the upside of a man who has children and is doing his best financially, and he's over 40 years old to get married. What's the upside? What's the advantage of a single man? Not somebody who's building, not somebody who's just fresh out of college, just met his sweet college sweetheart. He's staying at home and he's struggling, and they're going to struggle together. We're not talking about Barack Obama and Michelle Obama being interns at the law firm 30 years ago. No, we're not talking about that. I'm talking about somebody who's on his financial stride. He's doing really well, potentially a millionaire or close to bringing in $1 million a year, or maybe half a $1,000,000 a year in revenue. And he already has children. He's not necessarily hell-bent on having more children at 55. What is the upside for him to get married? I understand to have a lifelong partner, to have somebody that he's going to be with, a companion, a travel buddy, a fuck buddy, somebody to kick it with, somebody to bounce ideas off of, somebody to go to the movies with when the new movie finally gets released, somebody to go have a wonderful, nice, fine dining with. I get that. But why get Uncle Sam involved?
So here's what I would tell you, Shan. I do have an answer for that. I don't know that it's an answer, but I do have a scenario.
Mm-hmm.
My mentor, kind of a mentor / second dad to me. He's a lifelong, he's been a judge out in Houston, Texas for 30 years. He's retired, has a wonderful home, his pension and everything. He takes care of everything. And he married a woman some years back. And I remember a couple years ago, he told me, no, actually, she called me out of the blue. His wife called me out of the blue and was like, Wes, I hope you get married. Now, he's told me before, like, yo, man, make sure you get married because you don't want to grow old alone. And he's in his late 70s now. And he has a lot of health issues, and he's always been an active guy, a really fit guy, and still has had issues. He's had, I can't remember all of the things that he's dealt with. But even she called me a couple years back, and I just completely out of the blue and told me to make sure I get married because I want someone there. Basically, she was basically saying, you want someone there for you the way I'm there for him. And if you can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but it looks like you pulled the plug on your HDMI or something like that.
Yeah.
Is that the answer, Wes?
So no. Well. So the thing is that, you know, what I would say is that, you know, if you wait until you've got to put it's an investment, and you want to find someone who wants to marry you, who wants to be with you while you're still in your good years. So even if you're looking for long term and down the line, when you're not, as you say, taking them to Pound Town. Right. When you're not that porn star, cue the music. Right. So when those things are no longer going on, the problem is that might be too late as a man for you to then find someone to be there for you, so to speak, and really care for you in that way. Because at that point, if you find someone after those things are gone, chances are that they're just for the money, just for some sort of security, and they may not take very much good care of you because they're not emotionally invested. So that would be the only reason I would say to do it, even in your late ages when they're 50, my age or so, is because that I'm able to give someone more of myself
But
than just some sort of security. And
got you. So here's the
and then-
question though:
yeah.
why marriage? Because everything that you do, because I'm listening for you to name something that's going to give the benefit of the marriage, right? So you know, you got power of attorney, you got in-home nursing, you got convalescent centers to get taken care of. There's a lot of things that a person can do, and you can do that with a girlfriend. Everything that you mentioned, you can do with a girlfriend. I'm looking for the advantage of a marriage. I'm talking about a justice of the peace or a priest signing their name on a contract that you and your wife sign that you guys send down to the county registrar. What is the advantage when you are already in your financial stride? You already have your children and you're older.
Right.
I get it why your friend get it. And your friend, and she called and said, Wes, I want you to get married. But why she couldn't just say, Wes, I hope you find love? Why couldn't be, Wes, I want you to find you a good woman that you'll take care of her and she'll take care of you until the rest of your days? Why is marriage the threshold?
What I would say
at that age.
Yeah. To this, I would say it also depends on a person's life. Like for some people, I think if they're in traditional business or work for instance, the city because he was a judge. I think marriage is the only way to access certain financial, security when that person is gone. Pension and that kind of thing. I don't know how that goes.
No, you could do that. No, you could do that. You could do that. Well, you could do that with a living trust. You can do that with a will. You can do that with a will. Right.
But I do know that there's some money. There's something. I don't know exactly what it is. It's not my world. But I know that there's something that only takes place if you're married. That the wife will or the spouse will continue to get. I don't know if it's the retirement. There's something that doesn't transfer beyond that you can't will away, and they keep paying.
It's typically a pension. It's typically a pension. You can't give your girlfriend. It's typically you can't give your girlfriend your to have the retirement continue. But most jobs today, they've removed that option.
Right.
Most job. My father just passed away in May, and he was with the LA Unified School District for 44 years. He became a teacher in 1966. 44 years of service with it, and he was getting $90,000 a year in retirement. He had made so much money as teaching. He was getting He was getting $90,000 a year in retirement. When he passed away, that check stopped in 20 days. None of them went to my mom. She doesn't get anything from that.
Wow.
All because CalSTARS or whatever it's called for teachers or whatever modified the way their pension worked in 2002. That the way America is set up, man. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, and so a lot of times we get into these conversations and then we fall flat when we say, well, you know what? I'm not really sure how that works. I'm not really sure how that works. Yeah, I know. You know why you don't know how that works? Because it ain't working for nobody. It sounds good in theory, and we're going based off 1960, 1970 principles from people that was born in 1900 or people that was born in 1910 and 1925, and they worked at Chrysler and General Motor factories. They worked for Lockheed and shit like that, and then they retired in 1980 and died in 1980. That shit don't work today. Most of these employers, they got rid of that stuff. They set it up where it's a quick lump sum and you might get $10,000 and that's it. Hope you work it out. And so a lot of people need to do now. No, don't get me wrong. You got to have a whole lot of money to live. There ain't gonna be no much Social Security. That's running out. They're trying to figure out how to do that. And to get to even make it through life, it needs to require you to be with somebody. People like Kevin Samuels, he's pushing for marriage for people because damn, women especially, women ain't gonna be able to afford it. Women are not like men. You're not built like men physically. You're not built like men to be able to do the work generally necessary to get that $2.3 million that you'll need to take you through life after 55. It's going to be hard for women. And winter is coming, as they say. Y'all think it's bad now. Now they got this pandemic. This pandemic was one of the best things that could happen to American government, in my opinion. They're looking at this like an opportunity first. We just lost 750,000 people. That was a huge burden up off the financial strain of the American economy. They figure, oh man, we got rid of a whole lot of old people. Man, that was a wow. Phew, we didn't know what to do. We got now we on the Omicron variant and all this other kind. They keeping that going because it's an opportunity. Women. I'm speaking to you. If you guys do not get married or find somebody to rock with for the rest of your life, it's going to be very, very hard for you in the next 30 years. You will not have it like Betty White and the women of old days. Shit is changing. At least even me at 50, I can go out and swing a hammer. I can still build a house. Ladies, you don't know how to build a house. You could barely put oil in your car. I can go out there and build a drag racer and I can go out there and make cars. I can restore old vehicles. I still have the strength, the tensile strength in my hands that a lot of women don't have. You guys are beautiful and delicate. You're nurturers. And if you're already past, the age of the childbearing days, what are you to do? What is there to do? You have to get with somebody. And I'm speaking in generalities here. I'm speaking in generalities. And so but at the same time, with this statement that I'm making to women, I'm asking the older men, what's the benefit of getting married? Now, here's the other side. This is why I'm an advocate for marriage. I'm an advocate for marriage because I speak to a younger demographic. The people that I talk to are younger men. I speak to the youngsters and the little OGs, men who are in their 20s and 30s, because I want them to do better than I did when I was in my 20s and 30s. And so this is why I tell people like Shahid, Chris is gone. This is why I tell people like Shahid, and I tell people like Robert, man, get married, bruh. Find you a woman and lock it down. But the reason why I want you to lock it down is because I want you to create a nuclear family. I want you to produce seed and raise those children up under your household with you being there every day. I do not want you to be a father like I am. I am in a great situation with my ex-wife. I'm in the best divorce situation one can have. There's no child support orders. We get along. We're both in Los Angeles. She's living in the Valley. I'm in LA. Our kids, they love both. My son is in the bed right now. He's with me. I'm taking him to school in the morning. Things are great, but that's not the case for most people. I got lucky, man. I got lucky. And the reality is, women are running to divorce court at 80%. At 8 out of 10 women are running to divorce court. Most all of them want to get married, and 93% of alimony is paid by men to their ex-wives. And with that said, you got to protect yourselves. However, 80% of Black households are also unwed. Not necessarily single parent, but certainly unwed. And so if you're going to have children, Shahid, if you're going to have children, Robert, do you have kids? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I got 3.
You got 3? I don't know if you want more. But if you don't want more, then so Robert, you're 37 and you don't want more kids. I'm not really sure. If you don't want more, I'm not really sure this message is for you. But it's certainly for Shahid. Nuclear families is what we need in the Black community. My thing is more so the broad picture, the broad community. I know a lot of people might fuck that community. That community ain't this shit for me. I get it. I hear that argument from a lot of Black men all the time. It's a lot of people with red pill rage. It's a lot of brothers that's really pissed off right now based on what their wives put them through and what they've gone through, got raked through. The divorce court got raked through, family court got fucking just dogged out, on visitation with their children. There's a lot of men that's just really, really pissed off today. But for the ones that's not pissed off and for the ones that haven't gone through it, Of course, you got to get. I want you to get Chris's book to how to properly vet a woman, and then if you do find you one that happens to be good, and this is gonna be the next part of the conversation before we log out, is I advocate for marriage, but I want to advocate for marriage for those that is going to be beneficial to, especially for the greater good of the community, and it's going to be beneficial for the younger men who's going to be our next leaders in the future. Shahid is 33 years old. I am 16 years his senior. In 16 years, Shahid is going to be the next Shan. I'm going to be out chilling, watching TV, asking somebody to bring me a sandwich. I ain't going to be out there doing that. Shahid is going to still be ripping and running the streets. So I want that brother to get married. I want him to do it with a woman, but I want him to do it with the right woman, and I want him to do it for the right reasons, especially if he's going to have children. If he had children in 2 years, that kid will be 14 by the time Shahid is my age. My son is 6 and my youngest is 3. But for men that's over 40, that's already got their shit together, that's already on their financial stride, I haven't found a compelling reason to run to the courthouse and get a marriage certificate. I'm looking for the upsides, but the upsides aren't matching. They're not matching up. I do want men and women to be together. I do want people to hang out, but why get married when there's so many bad stats that says it's not to a man's advantage to do so? I hear what Wes is saying. Wes gave a story about, his partner that got married. He's older and just, got somebody to take care of, but you could do that with a girlfriend. You can do that with a girlfriend, man. You if you align with somebody that loves you, you guys can rock out. You're gonna have to connect with somebody.
I got one for you though, Shan. Before you leave that topic that Wes touched on, one reason why you could consider marriage at an older age, and I'm thinking about it a lot because obviously my views may make it, so I'm one of these guys that's a little bit older and still unmarried and wondering what the heck I'm gonna do. But my thought process is you would do it to be an example. To be an example as to what a marriage could actually look like to the younger generation. Granted, your marriage started a little bit later, but I don't know about y'all, but I know I didn't come from a 2-parent household. I came from my dad and my grandma. My mom, I hardly saw her coming up. I didn't really get to know my mom till I was in my 20s. Like, I knew who she was. I had my first 5 years with her. But after that, it was on my dad, right? So just being available to be that example, religious reasons, and maybe take the court out of it. It's not even a business decision at that point. I mean, your business is set. Take the court out of it.
Well, see, that's the point. See, when you say religious reasons, I mean, I know it says follow the laws of the land, but you can get spiritually married 100 different ways. You can go to Egypt and get married, spiritually.
But you would have that title. You can be able to say that. You can't say that the government don't know or don't know about it, but that's my wife.
I'll give you this, Sam. Here it is. Speaking of marriage as a business, we know businesses oftentimes require negotiation. So here's why a man should maybe consider it. Only if he meets a partner who he feels like is the perfect partner to move forward with. And the one difference that they have is that she wants to be married. Her reasons are different than his, different than the reasons that he doesn't want to be married. So from a negotiating standpoint, if that woman wants to be, if that's for whatever reason, religious or otherwise, but somehow because women, as you speak to, have this fairy tale painted in their head, and perhaps if she's older and that fairy tale is imprinted in her head, that shit's not going anywhere. Mm-hmm. That might be a reason for a man to consider where he was comfortable without marriage, moving on with a life partner. If he has a life partner, someone who's solid, then that might be worth negotiating and getting married for her sake, for her comfortability and security mentally, right?
Make an
Because
honest woman
otherwise,
out of
here's the other. Otherwise, if he starts on a journey of the same way that we might talk about, hey, look, marry somebody, it's not about love, and marry somebody. If he all of a sudden at that age starts going on a journey of, I want to find someone who doesn't want to be married, then he might be missing opportunities of having the perfect person, just like the perfect person to move on to carry the rest of his life out with, just like the guy who is only looking for love might miss out on the perfect marriage partner.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. It's all about probability. So there's probabilities, right? The probability is better for the guy on the latter side. But here's the thing. I get what you're saying, Wes. I hear what you're saying. Trust me, I get it. I understand. The problem is, if they're not in alignment and she wants to get married for this reason, and maybe it's imprinted in her for the fairy tale shit, the moment that she finds dissatisfaction, she's going to be part of the 80%. That's the scary part. The reality is, see, I wouldn't be having this argument if women wasn't the ones running to get the divorces, but begging to get married. If it was men begging to get married and women running to get divorced, or if it was women begging to get married and men running to get the divorces, I wouldn't be having this conversation. The reality is, it's women with that imprint, and it's women that's running to get the divorce. And the reason why is because irreconcilable differences. There's issues. He's not a producer male. He's not doing what he's supposed to do. He doesn't make me feel good. I just fell out of love. The fuck? They forget the whole first part of the vows. What was it? Difficult? I forget the damn vows.
Yeah. Sickness and health and sickness.
It's right here. Hold on. I got it right here. Through better or worse. For better or worse. It's the for better or worse. So if it was women like it currently is, who's been indoctrinated with getting married and wanted to be married for the right reasons, Wes, to be a good wife, not to just be married, not to just have a big fancy fucking wedding in a tall fucking wedding cake, and a bunch of photos and a damn and getting her dress made and all that kind of and having all her bridesmaids and pictures and shit. Not that. But to be an actually dutiful wife. If they wanted to do that, right. And then when they get married, it was not them running to the divorce court. Because mind you, none of them ask for their love back. They don't go to, you don't never hear in divorce court. In divorce court, they don't say, Judge, I'd like to have half my love back. Can I get half my love? No, they want half his wallet. They want that bread. So they're running to divorce court. They're running to divorce. They're the ones that want to get married, but then they're the ones that's running to get divorces. And the shit that they're doing is taking a man's wealth. And 92% of alimonies is being paid to women. Most millionaire women are millionaires because of the divorce. That doesn't add up. All these factors is telling me that doesn't make much sense. So if you run into a woman, this guy that you just described, Wes, that right there, it's in 10 years, she's not going to be happy. Guess what's going to happen? It's a 30-year marriage, or it's a 10-year marriage, or it's a 20-year marriage, and somebody's saying, let's get a divorce, which is ridiculous to me. But
here's what I would tell you. Here's what my response to that would be. And I wonder if there's a poll or stats on this. Mm-hmm. The one thing I do know about older women, and I've dated women 20 years younger than myself, and I've dated women, and maybe a little bit more, but another topic for another day. And I've dated women older than myself and women about my age, 50 years old. That being said, here's the thing I will say on the side of women, and I think the divorce rate and those women, if we were able to poll those women who run to divorce, I think for the women who are older, that they're going to be less, and chances are if they're older and getting married, there's a great chance that they've been married before. So those women, I think, are going to be less likely to run to divorce. They're going to understand the ups and downs of marriage more so than just the fairy tale, the expectation of the fairy tale. And they're going to be extremely happy to have a motherfucker who's going to be with their old ass instead of some cat, right?
That's why it's a double conundrum. But Wes, that's the double conundrum. One problem solved creates another. Men your age don't want those women. The problem is the solution that West presented is older women are going to be less likely to run to get a divorce because they realize how important it is to have a man in the house. Older women of 45 and older specifically, is going to realize how important it is and how valuable it is to have that man to change those fucking light bulbs and put a battery in that smoke detector, right? And so they're not going to run to the divorce court as fast as the younger women who's 44 and younger did, right? They're going to hang out. They're going to deal with shit. They're going to tolerate some shit. They're going to just say, fuck it. They're going to be Camille Cosby while your husband's out there fucking in prison and shit. They're going to tolerate some shit a little bit more than the younger woman would have. The issue is that solution caused another problem. What men want to marry those women? Even older men. What men want to marry them?
Here it is, and this is how we bring it all the way back to the young boy, Robert and the cowboy. Here it is. Marry an older woman, fellas. Shahid, Robert. Marry an older woman, and then get you a young side chick.
Now,
the older woman's not going anywhere. The young side chick isn't attached to your financials. But I say that in jest, but that's the reality. That's exactly what's going on in marriages. Niggas are married to older women at their age or older.
I got another double conundrum. I got another double conundrum for you here, Wes. So Wes came up with another solution, you guys. Wes came up with a solution to the last second problem. Wes says, listen, fellas, just marry the older women, exercise your options. That's what we say when you're a high value man. You don't cheat, you exercise your options. Maybe I can go play with the younger girl. You look at Bill Gates. Bill Gates said, listen, me and my ex, we going on vacation once a year. And he did it once a year for 20, 30 years while he was married to his wife, Melinda Gates. Melinda was like, it was part of the deal. When he married Melinda, he said, look, I love you. I want you to be my wife. But you got to understand something. I'm going to still be fucking her at least once a year. You cool with that? You can roll with the Microsoft CEO. If you're not cool with that, it's nice meeting you. She was like, oh, hell, I could deal with that. White people do it differently, right? White people say they know. Black people would have, oh, no, fuck that. I'm the only one. Okay, then take your ass back to the hood. You ain't coming here. You ain't coming over here to Microsoft. Right? But that white woman said, oh, no, I'm fucking with you, Bill. Now, the problem, Wes, that you just created, again, the second double conundrum is a double conundrum is when you solve one problem, you create another one. The problem, Wes, is the standards of women oftentimes, and this has been polled, increase the older they get. The requirements, the thing that older women, especially around, let's say 40, 45 years old, their standards and what they want, and this is in black women specifically. I'm not talking across the board. So we're talking on the black community. Black women, if you was to ask them what kind of man they want, they are more delusional than the younger ones. They are more delusional. Older women are more delusional than the younger ones. They got to make sure that it's them that say the most. It's the women that's already in the danger zone. 27 to 35 is the danger zone. No man's land is 35 and over. If you were to ask them, would you date a man that makes less money than you? They're the first ones to say hell no. They're the first ones that stick to hypergamy the most. And so the issue is, you think that she's gonna allow you to get a side chick?
Right.
Nah, they're not. They're not playing that game when they know because they're not too far gone from their 20s. They're not too far gone from their 20s. It's not until they get into their mid 50s, 60s, they realize, okay, fuck it. Do you have a pulse? Do you have a pulse? Okay, fuck it. Wes, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Because you and I, we get the 55, the 60-year-old women coming at us. We gotta run and lock the doors from them, Wes. It's just the reality. You know what I'm saying? And the reality is, I can tell them whatever the fuck I want. If I was to give some you can tell them whatever you want. By and large, I'm not talking to the 55 and 60-year-old women that's listening to me now. I'm talking to your friends. Not to you, sister. I ain't talking to you, baby. I'm talking to the other women, not you.
Still going off though, but
you can tell them whatever you want at that age, and it's way too late. That is what we call, that is completely no man's land. They are well beyond the wall. And getting a mindset change is going to be very difficult for those ladies. So, I mean, I'm just saying, man, you know, the issue, the reality is, women have to change their minds. Women have to understand the nature of men, which they generally don't. They have to understand how men operate, which they generally don't. Men are polygamous by nature. I read this in the chapter just yesterday, and women don't understand that. Men, hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Let me do something real quick. It says right here, it says, it is a very old saying that a man's wife may either make him or break him, but the reason is not always understood. The making and breaking is the result of a wife's understanding or lack of understanding of the emotions of love, sex, and romance. Despite the fact that men are polygamous by nature of their biological inheritance, it is true that no woman has a great influence on a man as his wife unless he is married to a woman who is totally unsuited to his nature. Women don't even understand that men are polygamous by nature. They don't understand that because women are selfish by nature. It's all about them, especially modern women. It's all about them. They want it all. And so, you know, to advise the bros, the young cats, to marry an older woman and get a side chick on the side, that's not going to happen. Not generally speaking. So that's what I'm saying. It's one problem solved creates a second problem. Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, when I ask you guys what's the upside to getting married for a man that's in his financial stride, generally speaking, 40 to 55 years old. A man that's 40 to 50 in that 15-year window, what is his advantage on getting married to a woman and he already has children? It's not about legacy, because that is the number one reason that men want to get married, ladies. It's about legacy. Men want to reproduce themselves. You know, ask Robert, ask Wes, myself. It's a joy to see myself in another human being. Shahid is going to want to see himself reproduce. He's going to want to see a mini me. And if a woman can't provide that or do that, or if a man already has that, the advantage of getting married after you're already making money, you've already reproduced yourself, and you're older, it's going to make you, and you've had lots of sex and all that other kind of stuff. It's going to make you say, well, why should I go and get Uncle Sam involved? What's the advantage on getting Uncle Sam involved? And to be honest with you, I haven't heard too much of a compelling reason. Now, don't get me wrong. I will get married again myself. It would probably be an act of God that makes it happen. it'll be a super amazing woman, and I had to see the upside or the benefits to making it happen. As an entrepreneur who makes a certain amount of money, living a certain lifestyle, I would have to say what reason, what for, why should I sign my name on this as opposed to us flying to Fiji and getting married in Bali or some shit like that. I'd have to be convinced, and I right now I'm not convinced. I can't see why I would do that. I do want a woman though that I'm gonna rock out with for the rest of my life. I think somebody in the chat was saying, "Oh, would you rather have a stranger wiping your ass than somebody you love wiping your ass?" I just need my ass wiped.
It don't matter.
First of all, I just need my ass wiped. I need somebody to get this shit off my ass. That's the priority. I don't give a fuck. And you know what? I'll tell you this. This is to the person that asked the question. I don't remember who it was. I should scroll up and find it. But I don't want you wiping my ass with an attitude. I know at least the nurse is going to do it knowing she got a check coming on Friday. So she's going to do it with a smile. The nurse is going to wipe my ass with a smile because she's getting a check on Friday. And if she wants to get a check on Friday, she better wipe my ass with a warm, wet wipe. Whereas a woman might be nagging the whole way through, giving me a fucking headache, complaining and shit. And there's nothing I can do about it because I'm locked in through contract. I'm contractually bound to this motherfucker. There's nothing I can do about it but listen to her nagging about wiping my ass if she feels like doing it.
And you don't have the option to have somebody else wipe your ass for the day.
Yeah, because she's here. I can't even get nobody else to come. So one, she's not gonna do it, and two, she won't let me get somebody else to do it. Hence the reason why a lot of men step out. My woman ain't doing what I need her to do. It's about duty. That's why I say, what's love got to do with it? Because when those butterflies fly away, when that fleeting love and all that agape, all that shit just disappears, then what do you got left? And if you don't have the structure of that small business that you formed in place properly, then you're gonna be miserable, man. It is miserable. It's like being in prison. It is literally like living in a prison cell. And I know a lot of non-married people or some people think that when you guys are talking about it now because you don't know, but you don't understand what it's like to feel imprisoned by somebody because you're contractually bound to them and you're like, fuck, this shit is terrible. And it's terrible for her too. She don't want to be there either. She's like, God damn, I'm stuck to this motherfucker. I don't want to be here. I hate being here. I can't stand it. So on and so forth. All because it's not working out on the emotional side for her. For him, it may not necessarily be working out on the logistical side. It's like, God damn, we losing money. You ain't helping. You we was doing a certain amount of money at one point. Now you just don't feel like even doing shit no more. You're supposed to be taking care of the kids and cooking. There ain't no food at home. I'm hungry. I've been working all day, and I gotta order fucking fast food. While all y'all motherfuckers in the house is asleep. It's a lot of different things that can go on. That's driving her to feel like she's in prison and him to feel like he's in prison. But one thing's for sure: if the business side of it, the duty side of it is covered, then you're good to go. If a woman understands that she has a duty to her husband to support any and everything that he does, then it'll be fine. One problem that I had, I created partnerships. You know, we talk about the roles of marriage. We talk about what a husband should be, and we talk about the head of the household and all of that. But you got these guys out here now asking women to be 50-50, but then the guys that's asking women what you bringing to the table, which is a silly question. To the guys that's asking this woman what you bring to the table, which is a silly question, and what you asking her to bring. What you want her to bring. What do you want a woman? To the guys that ask women, what do you bring to the table? My nigga, what do you want her to bring? You want her to bring some cars? You want her to bring some 401k plans? You want her to bring a paycheck? Do you still want to be in charge of the household? Do you still want to make the decisions while she's paying and working as hard as you? Do you want, you home before she home? She's still fighting traffic. So, for those that want that life, and that's fine if that's what you set up. Everybody has their own setup in their own homes, and that's important to note that. But if that's the case, then what are you looking for when it comes to roles? Because oftentimes those don't last too long because it's not natural. Technology and the proliferation of the industrial age moved too fast for the evolution of man. We have not evolved fast enough. In the last 150 years, we ain't changed as a species. I'm talking about from the Agrarian era all the way back to fucking 5,000 years. Let's go back just 2,000 years. Let's go back to the beginning of the calendar. Let's go back to year 0. From year 0 to year 1899. Marriage and life in the house was one way. And then from 1900 to 2020, suddenly everybody's a boss. Everybody got their own car. Everybody makes the same amount of money. Everybody makes all the decisions. Women are in charge of households and shit. Women are getting money. That's all new. The human being has not evolved at the speed of technology. It hasn't evolved at the speed of communication. So for us to expect that we're supposed to just automatically just wake up one day and be cool with how shit is working, that's why we're divorcing and people are the most unhappy, women particularly. Women are the most unhappy in the history of the human species, in the history of the recorded human species. Women are the most happy now than ever. And you don't know why. You're the most medicated. You're on all kind of Xanax and fucking antidepressants. You're seeing all kind of therapists. You don't know what the fuck is going on. It's because we're out of order. And you think that you are right, but we're not. We're not. And now women are asking for a hybrid version of this tradition shift. They want to pick and choose what works for them. They want a traditional man that covers them, but then where it doesn't work out for them, they don't. You know what I hear the most about is about being a leader. I'm gonna do a show on that. Well, men are supposed to lead. You're supposed to lead us. How can we, I think somebody wrote it in the chat. How can you lead us? The problem is you black men, you guys aren't leading us, right? That's the argument that we hear a lot. My response to that is modern times have given women the protection that the followers don't have to lead. You get to pick your leader. You can't expect a man to be a leader of somebody who don't want to follow them, and you got the police to protect you in the event that you don't want to be led by that man. You can leave at any time. You can get in his face and talk shit. You can raise your voice and push him in the forehead with your finger and push him in the chest and expect him to keep his hands to himself. I do not, and make no mistake, I don't believe a man should hit. No man should be putting their hands on a woman. But we about realities over here, right? You guys push men to the limit today. That wasn't the case years ago. Women knew not to do that because they knew that a man would knock her head off. But today, women will push a man to the edge and get in his face and talk shit, smack him up and hit him and say, "Oh, I'm weak. So you shouldn't do anything." We see the videos along. We see kids in high school where little girls is hitting on boys. And then when he lift her up and slam her on the ground, it's almost like, "Oh my God, why did he do that?" But they're not talking about why did the girl do it. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm talking about. And this is all modern shit. This is new shit. We haven't evolved into where we are today. We haven't evolved into what we are today. And that's a problem. And so we're in a really sticky situation. And when I look at it in my little personal observation, when I say what needs to change, what do men need to do differently? What do women need to do differently? I see most of the change is the mindset that needs to happen on women because of the feminism 3.0. Because of feminism 3.0. That's where everything went. But I'm with feminism 1.0 and version 2.0. 3.0 and 4.0 it's ruined shit. Shahid, do you intend to be the head of the household?
Yeah, that's all I really know and understand. And I think that's where a lot of my issues in relationships come from, is just I automatically just take a position of leadership. And like a lot of modern women, as you said, they're not used to it. They don't want it. And for me, it's just like, I'm the type, it's like, all right, fuck it, you drive the car. If you want to, like, I know we talked about the 2 steering wheels thing, and it's just like, okay, well, fuck it. You go ahead and drive. Since
No.
you know.
See that, and I don't want you to do that. See, I think that I don't want you. Don't do that no more.
By the time I do that, I'm out the car. You know
Okay.
what I mean? It's like, yeah.
Don't do that. That's what Robert's gonna do. Robert's gonna let her drive.
No. By the time I do that, I'm out of the car.
Robert's gonna go ahead and get in the back seat. Robert's gonna get in the passenger seat and let her drive because she said, I want to drive. I want you to put her out the car.
Nah, she can have a car.
Or she can have a car.
She can have a car.
She can have a car.
That's gonna be the best memory she got.
Ladies, do you even know how to submit to men? You talk about it's almost like submitting is a bad word. I get it. Oh, well, give me something to submit to. Men know how to. Every man knows how to lead. Or is he lead me in the right direction? Are you giving him the opportunity to? And when he tries to, are you disparaging him for it? We talked about it last week on Ask a Black Man Anything about the man that wants to go left and the woman wants to go straight. And she prayed that there was a roadblock. She prayed that God put a roadblock up there just so she can be right. Sign language, shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. I went back and watched the video to make sure that my argument was sound. It was. She's not here tonight, but my argument was sound. She said what she said. She switched it up later, but she said what she said. It's on the video. Watch it. I went back and watched it to make sure I knew what the fuck I was talking about. I generally do. Some women will pray for their husband to be wrong just so the woman can be right. In the event, I get it. She said she wasn't going to start no argument and it was all fine, but she's praying for the downfall of their success. That's weird to me. But you know what? I'm not surprised. That's what she's been indoctrinated with. She's been taught to be that way. That's why I'm saying it's on women to change that. It's on women to change that.
I still think y'all took that out of context a little bit because she's praying to get back on the correct path.
No. Go watch
that.
No. I'll send you the video.
The way she worded it, I get it. The way she worded it is the way y'all took it word for word.
The way she worded it, let's be.
Oftentimes, especially Shan, oftentimes in arguments when me and you talk, I say, you said this, and you go to throwing your hands up. Well,
Robert.
Anybody would understand. Well, that's one of those cases where anybody would understand unless you're looking for the opposite.
Robert.
But what could she have meant?
You want to believe that? Let me tell you. You want to believe that?
I know that. I know that because I know that. I personally know that because I know that.
The argument, my response to Robert is go watch the video again.
I totally get it. I get where it comes from. But I also, I guess I have more knowledge on where it comes from. I have more knowledge on the saying and the full thought behind it versus what was spilled out. So I got the full thought.
I understand exactly where it came from and what was in her heart. I understand that exactly. And she spoke what was in her heart. There's no distinction between what she said and what she meant. She said, "I understand what you're saying, and yes, there is a healthy appreciation that I have for wanting to get back on track. The problem, though, is simply that you're praying that the thing that is going to get us back on track is not two
block.
things. You're praying that a roadblock, something is going to
Y'all
force,
about to
is going to
relitigate
derail
this.
us. Right. Something is going to
case is closed.
derail us or roadblock us to get us back on the path that I see. And what I clearly said was, meaning she sees. And what I clearly said was, if you have one prayer, and I suggest that you only have one, because otherwise you're just praying against yourself. If you have one prayer, it should be that he sees something that I don't see, that there is no roadblock, that if there was a roadblock and it is the wrong path, that not that you get us back on a different path, the path that I see, that you make that path right. That's it. Ball game. I understand the intention. The intention is there, but the bottom line is show him he wrong. Put something in there so that we can go back on the right path, which is the path I chose. That's point blank.
Robert, watch the video. We gonna go back to court. Robert, watch the video, man.
No, I
can't.
get Robert. I totally get that. So I'm not even gonna argue with it because
put your cape away on this one. Don't die on this hill, Robert. Of all the hills to die on, don't die on this one.
The way it was, that's it.
Don't fight Obi. This is Obi. I mean, y'all, both of y'all are fucking, are goddamn.
If I ain't dying on the hill, damn shit. Please don't die on it.
Don't die on this one. Don't die on this one. But the reality is, listen, so people wonder, say, Shan, why do you say, well, women need to change? Why do you say, don't we all need to change? Don't we all need to change to make this work? Yes, we all need to change, but we all don't need to change to make it work. We all need to change to make it better. Men need to change to make it better because men are fucked up in a lot of different ways, especially, and that's what I'm trying to teach the young men. But men don't necessarily need to change to make it work. Men are taught the same way today as children as they were, especially when a man is around. Especially when a man is around, as they've been taught all along. Women have, you guys got a whole different playbook today. You got a different playbook than your grandmother had. You got to, and it ain't got nothing to do with technology. It ain't got nothing to do with modern times. It has everything to do with what you were indoctrinated with through feminism. It has everything to do with you being a boss. Men have been told to be bosses from 1600. We were told to be bosses from 1700, 1800. We were bosses on our farm. We've been bosses as cowboys and robbers. We've been bosses through the 30s. We've been bosses when we were salesmen and selling encyclopedias in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. Door-to-door salesmen. We've been bosses. Get the money and get the bag and the money phone and all the shit you see on Instagram is just the iteration of the change of a man trying to do his best to be hypergamous and taking care of his family. Our message doesn't make things it makes everybody better. But to fix the problem, women have to change their minds. Women have to become different. They have to unlearn the programming that you've gotten in the last 20 to 30 years. That's my personal opinion. I get it. Everybody doesn't have to adopt that. But my personal opinion is women have to unlearn a lot of the bullshit that you guys have been taught because you've been led astray and you are the ones that are not getting the outcomes you want. It ain't men. It's you that's running to get divorces. It's you that are highly fucking medicated. It's you that's on a biological time clock. It's you that run into geriatric pregnancy by 35. But you're the same ones that's being told not to even start looking for a man until you're 30. You're told to go get a job and get your education and get your degree and then get a second degree and then get your master's degree and then get an MBA. And then when you get 30 years old and you got the job and you're a senior executive vice president or whatever, then start looking for a man. You got 5 years before you run into geriatric pregnancy. We haven't evolved out of that. Women aren't so different today. Technology has gotten better and medicine has gotten better to make you get over the fact that you can probably have a kid like Halle Berry did when she was 51 if you got the money. But the reality is your womb works the same way as a woman's, your womb works the same way as the wombs did in 1821. Medicine has made it easier for you. You get a shot in your spine. You can get an epidural. You know, we got medicine and technology to make it work, but there's nothing different about you biologically. So, but you know what's different also? Those women were having their children when they were 16, 17, 18 years old. Those women were having their babies at age 21. Today, with the same biological makeup, you're being told to wait till you're 30. You're being told to go get the bag and become the boss and to be in charge. And as a result, it's not working out for us. So that's why I'm putting it on the women. That's why your boys putting it on the girls. So ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Marriage. I think it's super important. I think it's a requirement. I think it's required for the healing of our nation. I think young people should get married. I think old people should get married too if they ain't got their shit together. But for men specifically, if you are in your 20s or your 30s, I think marriage is a good thing. I personally think marriage is a good thing, especially primarily because I'm assuming that you understand something. 54% of black men in America are childless, are single and childless. 54%, more than half of the black adult men in the United States don't have kids. The other 30% is married. So 80% of black men in America are either childless or married with children. So if 54% of us men don't have kids, I need them dudes to wife up. I don't want them to be the last 18%. I don't need baby daddies. So this is why Shan promotes marriage. I don't want no more baby daddies. I don't want no more Pookies. I don't want no more Ray Rays. I don't want people having children out of wedlock. I want you to get married and build a nuclear family, and where a mother and a father raises their children until the children become adults. That's the best way out of poverty. That's the best way out of poverty. You guys all know, some of y'all hate Larry Elder, but Larry Elder spelled it out. He said, if you want to avoid poverty, there's 3 things you should do. 3. This is for women specifically. There's 3 ways to avoid poverty. 1, graduate high school. 1, graduate high school. If you want to avoid poverty, follow these 3 steps. 1, graduate high school. Graduate high school. Number 2, I don't know if it's in this particular order, but number 2 is do not have children out of wedlock. Do not have children out of wedlock. Hold on one second. Let me see if it's in the same order.
While you doing that, Shan, I got a dip. Love you, brothers. I'm head out.
All right, for sure. Thank you, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm sorry. Okay. So it's in this particular order. 1, finish high school. 2, don't have children before 20 years old. If you want to avoid poverty, ladies, do not have children before you are 20 years old. And 3, get married before you have children. That eliminates poverty, period. Mothers, teach your daughters that. Mothers, teach your daughters that. Hold on, let me remove these names. There we go. If you want, ladies, if you guys want to avoid poverty, if you're young and you want to avoid poverty, and mothers and fathers, if you want to teach your daughters to avoid poverty, there's 3 things they have to do. 1, graduate high school. 2, do not have a child before the age of 20. 3, get married before you have a child. In that order. And you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Of course, not everybody's going to be fine, but the odds are you'll be better. You'll be fine. It is women that has to change. It's women that has to. This is for the ladies. Ladies, this is for you. So, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you guys. Miss Carrington says the miseducated modern woman. The miseducated modern woman. Miseducated men have been miseducated as well, but it's not to the detriment of our community. It's just to the detriment of himself. Gang banging, drug selling, being but by and large, even through outside of the gang stuff, which is really afflicts both men and women, everything else is about, because everything that men do is for our families. Everything that we do is for our women, it's for our children, it's for the covering of our families. When you hear about, I put a video out a while back. I said, listen, the goal is to get out the hood. The goal is to get out the hood, get you a fine wife, have some kids, get the house, 2.5, 2.5 children and a dog, picket fence and a barbecue in the back, and then have a party. And at the barbecue, sit around with the homies from the hood talking about how you got out the hood. That's the goal. And all the other things that I mentioned are the things that we want, that we naturally want to take care of. But in order to do that, women, you guys are going to have to submit to the authority of your man. If you don't think that you need to do that, and if you believe that you want a partnership and you want to go 50-50 and all that other kind of stuff, it's not going to last. You're going to end up, 1, having a man that doesn't want to be with you because you guys can't get along or you're not following his lead. 2, you're going to resent him. You're going to resent him because he's not a producer that you expected him to be. And you're going to be like, damn, my man ain't strong. I need a strong man. What you're really saying is you need somebody stronger than you. You need somebody stronger than you. What men are saying now is, ladies, you guys are a little too goddamn strong. You're so strong that we can't even talk to you. You're so headstrong that we can't even tell you nothing. You can't tell you nothing. We can't advise you. We can't lead you. We can't talk to you. You know everything. You make more money than us, so you feel that, since you make so much money that that you should be the boss. And then every night you go to bed, you resent that man that's laying next to you because he's not better than everything that you just worked so hard to become yourself. It's really a shitty cycle. So that's why I suggest that young men like my man Shaheed get his bread. And everything else will fall in line. If he get his bread right, everything else will fall in line. Shaheed ain't gonna be it's gonna be 10 years before he's even 43. So he's good. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys. Did you guys subscribe to the channel? Did you like this video? Please join the army. Please join the army. We out of here. My man Wes, my man Shaheed, they hung in with your boy. We did a crackpot show today. We supposed to do our Ask a Black Man Anything. We just threw this up just to talk to everybody. We wanted to talk to people tonight. We don't want to go another week without speaking to our friends. I'm Mr. Shan, the man with the plan. I've been there, done that, and not much surprises me. And you, my friends, are dismissed.
Esa chica quiere selfie, selfie, ella quiere ver. Pa' que el CP se dé cuenta que aquí perdió esa mujer. Lo que quiere es enloquecer, ser la mujer que él quería ver. Esa chica quiere selfie, selfie, que yo parezca en él. Como que ella quiere, disfruta la noche, lo anormal. Creo que el novio teme que su relación va a terminar. Se da cuenta que no necesita a alguien más. Quiere un selfie para su Instagram. Ella ya no quiere relación, alguien que diga su condición, que solamente le dé traición, para después llegar con un perdón. Quiere hangar y ser de esos pibis que goza la vida y lo hacen como esa chica quiere selfie, selfie, ella quiere ver. Para que el CP se dé cuenta que aquí perdió esa mujer, perdió esa mujer. Lo que quiere es enloquecer, ser la mujer que él quería ver. Esa chica quiere selfie, selfie, que yo parezca en mí, que yo parezca en mí. No tiene sueños, solamente en sus sueños. Nos ponemos risueños con un norteño y mi flow brasileño. Yo te juro que es bueno, ya me doy el palo. Ese empate si lo desigualo. Le gusta lo nasty y lo malo. Me traje un regalo. Ella ya no quiere relación, alguien que diga su condición, que solamente le dé traición, para después llegar con un perdón. Quiere hangar y ser de esos pibis que goza la vida y lo hacen como esa chica quiere selfie, selfie, ella quiere ver, ella quiere ver. Para que el CP se dé cuenta que aquí perdió esa mujer, perdió esa mujer. Lo que quiere es enloquecer, ser la mujer que él quería ver. Esa chica quiere selfie, selfie, que yo parezca en mí, que yo parezca en mí. Dime todo lo que ella quiere, nada ha sido regalado. Entre más independiente, más quiero estar a su lado. Es de esas nenas, mata, es que más. Ella está plena la noche entera. Esa chica quiere selfie, selfie, ella quiere ver, ella quiere ver. Para que el CP se dé cuenta que aquí perdió esa mujer, perdió esa mujer. Lo que quiere es enloquecer, ser la mujer que él quería ver. Esa chica quiere selfie, selfie, que yo parezca en mí, que yo